Hello everyone. Welcome to a brand new deep dive analysis post Infinity War saga. You know, it's like after a big battle, and now we're
Yeah.
just kind of like slowing back down, back to beginning, back to formula.
Ow.
I'm already quoting stuff from the movie. Gerald and Ray back at it again to give you guys our thoughts and our, I guess, our findings. What is that of this
Our
movie?
observations.
Observations. You know, you know how we work. We try to like pretty much dissect the entire movie, bit by bit. Maybe reaching a little too far, but you know what? That's just the Kush talking, baby. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing
He's
wrong
right.
with a little Kush Chronicle on the Push Block Chronicle. I'm dropping bars right now. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to burn the house down. You know.
I'm
My
dying.
grandma's here. She's like, if I hear you spitting fire,
Oh,
you better believe. Um, but
Chinelas, man.
yeah, after Infinity War, we're going to be analyzing the three Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. And for those of you that are super young, you guys probably don't remember much, or if at all, when this movie was released. How old were you? Remember?
Was that
2002.
2001? 11?
That was 18 years ago. 11 years old.
Was it 11? I'm
Yeah,
12. What is this?
yeah. I'm 12. He was 12 and he didn't know what that was. And I was around, I guess, yeah, 12 or 13. And
Yeah.
this movie was like highly anticipated.
Yeah.
You remember the ads? All the
Yeah. I was like, ooh, Spider Man. I
yeah,
watched him in the 90s.
every single thing. Like McDonald's had Spider-Man toys. They had Spider-Man snacks. There was like Spider-Man Doritos, Spider-Man
Yeah.
Skittles. Like this thing was marketed everywhere. And
Yeah.
like, mind you, before this, the only other Spider-Man we got was not live action. It was the cartoon show,
Yeah.
right?
That was a good one, too.
Yeah, and that was good. I enjoyed that as a kid. I
Yeah.
thought that was all the bad guys were there. Like they didn't hold back on that one. And so, for anyone that was a fan of that show, obviously, when you hear this, you fucking shit yourself. I remember
I
I shit myself.
get myself, too. I was like, well, dude,
Yeah, my mom's like, "Putang ina, na naman." We have to stop driving by this Spider-Man poster on the street because
yeah.
this
Yeah. Close your eyes.
motherfucker keeps shitting himself. Um,
Oh, man.
as a kid, I didn't really know much about Tobey Maguire. You know, nobody really. I didn't care about that. I just wanted to see Spider-Man. But I remember I watched this in like Philippines, in a theater, in the
Oh, that's
mall.
crazy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I was already in Canada.
Oh yeah. What
So
year did
this was
you
my
get to Canada?
2001
Oh wow.
August,
You were
dude.
you were just here. You were
Yeah,
fresh off the boat when you watched it.
right before 9/11.
Yeah. You were probably like, tatay, tatay,
X,
doon tayo, nood
Daddy,
tayo ng Spider-Mans.
X.
Did you speak
Spider.
Tagalog as a kid at 11?
Of course. What else did I speak?
Well, because you lived in what? Saudi, right?
Yeah, I live in Dubai,
In
but
Dubai. So, like, did you speak Tagalog there or English?
Tagalog mostly.
Oh, okay.
But there was like, yeah, there's a Filipino. I was in a fully Filipino school.
Oh, okay. Like
Yeah.
everybody. Oh, okay, okay.
Holy shit, it was crazy. And then we had a rivalry with the American school. It's a
Oh,
joke.
fuck. That's
Yeah, and I
crazy.
know someone who went to the American school.
Ooh.
Like now,
Oh, shit.
yeah, it's like, oh fuck your school, and she's like, what? I
The
was like,
girl?
yeah, yeah,
Oh, yo, this is like Montagues and the Capulets a little bit,
dude,
you know?
yeah. It's like,
Mafangu. Yeah,
Chua.
yeah, yeah. That's crazy. You watched it? Oh, you watched it here. Yeah. In Philippines, it's weird. I told you how movies work there, right? Well, when I was there, at least, they didn't really have any show times. They just play it all day long, and hope to God when you get in there, it's the beginning. But I do remember.
Yo, that is move, dude. Holy shit! I actually remember that time in the Philippines.
Yeah, where like if you get in the middle, you would watch the whole movie, and then you'd start all over again, and you get to the part where you were, you'd be like, "Oh, okay, it makes sense now," and you leave.
Yeah, holy shit. I I'm so used to like the Western standard of like, oh, you come at like 7:20 and we'll play it at 7:20, and then
Hmm.
but no, in the Philippines, you gotta make the most of your money. All
Yeah, honestly, that's not really a bad deal. Like you could just stay there the whole day if you want to rewatch it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's fine.
yeah,
Yeah,
like I
not
don't
new
think they care.
information.
Yeah.
You're not
Um,
benefiting from new information.
but I do remember there was a blackout while we were watching Spider-Man One, and it was a pretty shitty experience. But at least it happened near the beginning, and it wasn't too much of a hassle. But yeah,
Oh,
Philippines.
was it a brownout or a blackout?
Yeah, it's a brownout
Oh,
technically.
okay. Yeah, okay. Because that's in an encyclopedia. I saw it.
Is it?
Brown.
So what is the difference in description from a blackout and a brownout?
It's exactly what you think.
What?
Yeah,
Philippines?
yeah, specifically in the Philippines because there's a lot of brown people there.
That's hilarious.
No, I'm joking.
Oh my god. I'll take that.
I would too. Yeah,
Um
I did it. Brought brown out to like what the hell? Like 2003? What the hell is a brown out? There was a blackout.
I never questioned that. I don't even know why blackout makes sense.
Yeah.
The brownout doesn't make any sense like as this
No,
like the way to describe something, you know?
but like how it is.
Hey, you don't really question it. A lot of Filipino terms you don't really question, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
fucking patayin mo yung lights, like you gotta
Yeah.
kill the lights or like or whatever. But yeah, Spider Man, Sam Raimi. Didn't really care much about directors, but this director is mostly known for or horror, and
Makes sense.
um,
Horror.
and you kind of see a little bit of that with the way it's edited and the way it's done. A lot of like close-up scenes, a lot of what is that called? Jump scares, right? But like Aunt May's praying screen like scene that was a jump scare and a half. It was just fucking out of nowhere, stuff
Yeah.
like that. So it's interesting to see a horror director create a superhero movie and still made it work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With the way it's Spider Man, it's not even like Ghost Rider or somebody else that you would think would fit that genre. But Spider Man, it worked, and it worked on for three more movies, three and a half. Um, so yeah, let's talk about Spider Man, 2002, long ass time ago, 13 years old, and it literally starts off like a comic book. There's no opening scene. It's just straight to title card. You ever notice that? It's just like
Yeah.
Spider Man. Like, there's no like Peter getting bit, or there's no Peter waking up and trying to give you a little introduction. It's just like
No.
straight to the title card. All stylized in web. And it's this like
Yeah.
intro of like all the names popping up with
Pretty much gives you the whole movie, to be honest.
practically.
The way that Norman comes, it's like, oh, that's a bad guy.
Yeah, dude, it's all very like certain things are right away. It's literally like a comic book. Everything's like almost exaggerated in terms of what type of narrative they wanted to portray. Just from the title card itself. Um, but we also get a narration by Peter Parker, and Peter Parker is played by none other than Tobey Maguire in this movie. Do you enjoy other movies of Tobey Maguire?
I can't say that I have seen other movies of Tony.
Yeah, me neither, because I have never seen Seabiscuit.
Me
Um,
neither. I just make fun of it.
he he played a small role in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas with Johnny Depp
Yeah.
and Guillermo, but that's about it. I don't really know him as an actor, as a lead actor at least, but he did a good job in this one. But we see Peter trying to chase a school bus, and we already get a picture of what type of life he lives or who he is in the class, because the kids are laughing at him as he's trying to speed up, and Mary Jane is like, "Stop the bus,
Oh
man."
yeah,
And it's like, "Oh, who's that cute girl with the red hair?"
yeah,
Boom, that's MJ, played
yep,
by Kristen Dunst,
yep.
which
Jumanji.
uh,
You know?
yeah, wow, that's a time jump and a half. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Kristen Dunst was a little girl in Jumanji, and I'm not talking about the one with The Rock.
No, no, no. What the fuck is that shit?
Yeah, we're talking about the ones with Robin Williams, long
Yeah,
time ago. And I would say she's a terrific actor. I think actress. I think she was in.
Jumanji.
But is there another one that she's in?
Can't say I
Uh,
have seen other.
Melancholia. She's good in Melancholia.
Yeah, that's after though.
That was after, yeah. But if you guys want to check out movies by her, you're better off looking on IMDb than asking us because I only know one other movie she's in, or two other,
Yeah.
and one she's in. She's a child. I don't think it matters, but yeah, she did good here. She plays MJ, and we see her sitting next to Flash Thompson. So this is Flash Thompson in this universe, played by a very young Joe Manganiello, which is
Oh,
yeah, he's fucking hilarious, man. This dude is probably one
I
of
see clips on YouTube. Yo, yeah, yeah.
yeah, this guy's so funny. In How I Met Your Mother, he has a character, and I think in Brooklyn
Yeah.
Nine-Nine he had a cameo. Like anyone he plays, it's just ridiculous. I remember in How I Met Your Mother, he played a lawyer, and he's like, he said, "Your Honor," he said, "Objection, Your Honor, on the case of this is redonks." And the judge is like, "That's not a proper word." On the case that this is redonks.
Awesome.
um, yeah, which is hilarious because now we see a little bit of contrast between Tom Holland and Spider Man, and this Spider Man, the Flash Thompson that we get over there, is not this fucking cardboard cutout of a bully that's just like the moment you see him, you're like, oh yeah, this guy's a complete jerk. Like, you don't
Yeah.
even. Spiky hair, white muscle dude. You know what I mean? Like, typical jock. And
The girl.
yeah, wrapped. Yep, exactly. You know what I mean? Like dominating her space, just the classic. And Peter is like excitedly bullied. Like he goes in the bus and like loser. Like
Yo, like you would report, but this is New York, you know.
I
Right?
guess, but like you have to be that verbal. Like no one wants to sit with him, and he gets tripped. Like it's the most classic trope.
Ah, holy shit, that's rough. That's a caricature. Cause like this seems like a
Mhm.
really caricature movie, you know?
Absolutely, yeah. It doesn't hold back. It doesn't have subtleties in holding back what the overall message is. And it's like, oh, Peter's bullied. It's like they're not just saying that. They're like, let me just. They're like throwing spitballs at him and shit. It's like literally cartoon character type of bullying.
It's like Matilda, you know, a scene from Matilda. Like children are just like
Exactly. Ha ha. Ha ha. Like fucking Ralph. But anyways, we find out that it's a field trip, which is kind of sad because we see that scene where Peter thought that MJ was waving at him, and it's just a, right. She was actually waving to her friends behind him.
felt that.
Ooh, this man can't catch a break. You know?
Yeah. Oh, and okay, but can we just say the difference with the filming and like how the picture looks? Because Sam Raimi is like a classic.
He is
I
very
guess
classic.
like
Yeah.
the I guess the medium they use is like probably shot in film. It looks like it. It's like very. It's got that quality, you know.
Oh
It's
yeah.
got that film look.
Yeah. It's literally like you can tell because it's like the focus and everything else seems so like you can't really control certain aspects of the scene. You know,
Yeah,
even the lighting, the whole thing is like
yeah,
so traditional,
gorgeous.
which is dope. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a technical like when I look at it compared to what we just watched right before this, which was the Far From Home.
Yeah, I think they
It's
shot
like
that on
very
Blu-ray. I think
high. They shot it on what?
Blu-ray. I think,
Word.
or maybe IMAX.
Or like whatever new red camera digital, you know.
I love it's always the red camera that they go crazy for.
But like the look is different, and like
Hmm.
the composition is so it's just nice, you
Yeah,
know.
it's everything's natural right now.
Yeah,
Even with the scenes in like Homecoming and stuff like that. Even if they're at school, there's even like small green screens. Like you can manipulate so many things in a scene
yeah.
to make it look how exactly you want it. And this one is just like natural.
Like you know, New York.
Yeah.
Spider Man, like no one goes, "Hey, Spider Man, do a flip." It's like
Yeah, yeah.
more
I
rough.
don't like his face. Yeah, nah, I don't like him. That one guy.
Oh man,
Um, but yeah, Peter can't catch a break, man. Thought MJ was waving at him, but she wasn't. And we get introduced to Harry Osborn, played by James Franco, a
yep.
solid actor. Um, I've only really seen him in Geeks and Freaks TV show before this,
Oh, word.
and so that's it. But he makes good comedy movies now. You guys should watch The Interview or obviously Pineapple Express.
Oh, that's a
You
good
know,
one.
all those things. He's really funny in that. Um, and Norman Osborn, played by the magnificent, godlike Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
man stole the show in this entire movie. Like I
Yeah.
know Toby did great. Franco had some good moments too. Dunst, yeah, above average, but Willem Dafoe took the cake, man. And we're gonna talk a lot about that later because that mirror scene was fucking insane. Um,
He just filmed that alone, and he was like, "Yo, can you guys add this into the thing?" And they're like, "Oh my god!"
you did this when was this?
I worked it into the script.
Yeah, whatever. I couldn't sleep last night, so I just did it. Um, uh,
Oh my, what a god!
we learned that Harry is a little bit embarrassed about being rich and doesn't want to be seen by the public school kids in a Rolls Royce. So it
Yeah,
gives you that little, grounded type of humble persona that Harry has, and it's probably one of the reasons why he hangs out with Peter is because a lot of the other kids probably thinks that he's too pretentious and rich to hang out with anyone else, and
yeah,
and plus, I think in this movie he's not a jackass. He's good. So no spoilers or anything like that. Uh, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyways, um, there's that scene where Norman and Peter meet. And he's like, you know what, Peter? I'm something of a scientist myself.
that's so good, dude. I love that meme. It's the lighting, it's his face, it's the background, and it's just a harmony of things.
And the way he says it is just like, oh yeah, well I'm something of a scientist myself.
Oh shit! It's like an unblockable insult. Like, I'm pretty fucking sick too, dude.
Yeah,
Oh, you
don't
think you're shit?
don't sleep on me, son.
Yeah. Oh man, it's such a flex. I love that.
Classic
And
movie right
I've
there.
I have an experience where because like I was talking to one of the baristas near my work
Nice.
that I like frequent,
Hmm.
and I was like observing the espresso machine, and it's like solenoids and like pressure valves and
Right,
like
right.
hot water and like heaters and shit like that. And I was trying to explain to the barista that I'm like friends with. I'm like, yo, I'm kind of like you because the machine that the machine I operate is kind of the same. And it's that meme was perfect, and that's how I communicated it to them.
You should have said that. Hey, I'm something of a barista myself, guys.
Yeah, dude. Well, fuck. I love that amazing, amazing crop too.
It's just like classic, dude. You don't even need a GIF for it. You just have the face, and he just says it all. Shout out to
I went
Willem
that's
Dafoe.
it.
Um, the class goes into the spider lab, and Peter just gets constantly pushed around by Flash and his fucking goons. He's like the most like bullying of the like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, guys, really? Like, calm down.
Holy.
This is necessary. Um, they go into the spider section. The tour guide talks about the different types of spiders, their special abilities that each one possesses, and we see that one is able to produce high tension webs that are spun in the same pattern um, as the ones used in bridge building. This is sort of a little
Oh,
foreshadowing that later on there's going to be a bridge that
great.
he's going to have to use some high tension wire as the as the photo. Yeah, you got to put him as a collage. You got to put him on the the corner there. Let me fix this. Oh man, that's the perfect face right there. What did you Google? Did you just Google "I'm something of a scientist myself"?
Oh man, look at dude. Look at this composition. The two cars right here, and then the empty negative space and negative space. You know, car frame like tight. Oh my god, like
That's
sun right here.
symmetry right there, folks.
Jesus
Wes
Christ.
Anderson, eat your heart out.
Come on,
Um,
Sam. Come on, Sam. That's like you didn't have to do us like this.
Samuel, you're so good. You're so good, Sammy. Um,
Bad. You're so good and bad.
anyways, one of the spiders is missing since MJ knew how to count, and we learned that the missing spider was the hybrid of all the spiders that had those special abilities put
Oh,
together.
what a coincidence.
So I guess he's like Super Skrull Spider that has all of the Fantastic Four powers on him. So it incorporates like strong webs, jumping really far, spider sense,
That's
and
good.
pretty much anything Spider-Man can do. So we know that that's a spider that's gonna end up biting him.
Oh.
Um, Peter takes photos of MJ like a simp. This man,
Oh my god, this was painful to watch. 'Cause I was like, I don't remember a time where
dude, he was drooling. Like this man was in a heaven at that.
this guy had his mouth open. That's painful.
He said, "You remember the time when what?"
I forgot what my train of thought was
Um,
about that.
yeah, that was a little creepy. I mean, obviously, like shout outs to him. He's interacting with his crush, but like, come on, man. This guy was like, like, calm down. As a photographer, was that good technique? Were the pictures he was taking were those good?
It looked like it's good. You know, hard to tell really.
What kind
Gotta
of
see the.
camera was he using?
It was a Nikon F. It's
Oh,
a F. Yeah, yeah. I was actually pretty impressed. They blurred, they blacked out the Nikon part,
oh, of
but
course.
you can see the F, and it's like pretty. It's a pretty famous 35 millimeter camera.
Ooh, this guy's going into specifics, man. If you don't know, Ray is a master photographer.
Hey, you
You know what I
know,
mean? If you have any questions about photography,
yeah,
go Google. Google them.
ask me. Oh my god! And if you ask if your film is ready, I swear to God,
It's not.
it won't be. Not-
Um, anyways, MJ gets called by her friends, and Peter's like, "No, I wasn't done taking all these creepy pictures of you." But then that's the time when the fucking spider came down and fucking planted one right on his fucking hand.
It looked awful.
And he's like, "Puta ka na, ano yan?" Right? He's like,
And I thought
"Anak ng putya."
kabayo, like if it was like your grandma. Ay kabayo.
Ay kabayo. Yeah, this guy fucking nailed it out, but After the bite, it cuts back to Oscorp, where Norman is discussing, which is pretty much Oscorp is the lab that he owns for his company. And we see a little of a dude on a glider, and we're like, what could that be? You know what I mean? And he's discussing or establishing business with the military. So we learned that this is one of the reasons why he started making these quote unquote weapons, is because his company deals uh, in pretty much arms deals, just like another billionaire that we know, rest in peace, Tony Stark, and which is another reason why a lot of people are speculating that the new Avengers Towers is gonna be the Osborn
Yeah.
building because, well, they probably found out that Stark's gone, capitalize on the place that he used to dominate, try to take him down again, I guess. Um, but we also see the enhancement gas that he uses. So instead of like a serum, like Captain America, this one is like inhaled in a chamber. So I guess it's a little bit like Ant Man, because Ant Man is pim particles, right? You kind of like go
Yeah.
over his mask and like you breathe in the pim particles and you. So it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. But that was just an introduction to what Osborn does. Anyways, we cut to Ben and May Parker at home, played by Cliff Robertson. He's very famous for very old westerns, old ass movies. And Rosemary Harris. Rosemary Harris is like the staple look of
It's the one.
Aunt May. Yeah,
Yeah.
fragile old lady, white
Yeah.
haired. The works.
Yeah. Post Uncle Ben, Aunt May.
Yeah, yeah. Post Uncle Ben, Aunt
Pre-
May. Because even in the Andrew Garfield one, Aunt May was old as fuck as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it was such a surprise to a lot of people when Aunt May turned out to be Marissa Tomei,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
That's weird.
she's too attractive to be like Rosemary Harris can still get it, but
Yeah.
if there was if there's two doors and one said Rosemary Harris and then one said Marissa Tomei, obviously you'll pick Marissa Tomei, but it's not like I won't take a peek at Rosemary Harris.
True. Yeah.
Uh,
I'm curious.
yeah, I'm so curious. Shout out, free Ayo, man, free Ayo up in this. So he's still locked up. Yeah, damn.
Yeah, free my guy.
Free Ayo. Um, and then we hear that Uncle Ben is looking for a job, and they're tight on money. This is something that's pretty much known about Spider-Man, that he's not really a hero. He's that has money. He's not like Cap that works for Shield, big corporation, or Tony Stark that has a mansion. He's struggling, man. Mans are broke out here, dude. No.
Yeah. He's desperate too. Like the look on his face, like, we can do it. No.
Yeah. Facts. Ben's like, gotta go back to work, dear. And he's like, all these computer programming
God, dude.
jobs can't do it, Just setting you up for the heartbreak later on. We know what happens to Uncle Ben, god damn it.
Oh my God. Man,
Um,
you wear those jeans so nicely too. Oh my God. Dude, this is that one Uncle Ben. You're like, this guy he works out.
yeah,
The fuck?
this guy he's not your typical dad bod. This guy used to be in westerns, man. That's how much muscle you gain
Yeah,
while you're riding horses.
true. He's like the prime Kenny Rogers, like
Yeah,
type,
yeah.
cowboy.
Anyways, Peter comes home and he looks like he's not doing well. He's like, I don't feel so good, Aunt May. I think something's happening to me. He goes upstairs, takes off his shirt. He looks anorexic as fuck,
Yep.
skinny, and apparently, Tobey Maguire did that. I think he
Yeah,
starved himself for like a couple of weeks to get that body.
yeah.
Just super commendable. Like, wow.
It,
Um,
that's before the CGI that we get
yeah,
with like, Cap looking like an old man. You're like, okay, X.
yeah. Yeah. Cap, that was impossible. Cap, there's no way, even if he dieted and starved himself, he would not look like that. You know.
Yeah,
Um, but we came a long way, man. Tobey Maguire had to do the work.
yeah, that's analog.
Yeah, this shit is analog. This is practical effects right here.
That's like the Christian Bale technique where you do like the crazy lose weight,
Oh, that
gain
guy's
weight.
crazy. Yeah,
You
from
know?
like Machinist back to like Dark Knight. Like,
Yeah. So Toby, was one of those guys. Who just I'll do it. I'll get buff. I'll starve myself.
in Seabiscuit, he was also very scrawny.
Oh shit,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
he was like that's because in order to be I guess a horse jockey,
Oh yeah, true.
you need to be super light so that
Yeah.
you'll win races and stuff like that. But yeah, he was tripping out. It looks like he was doing some MDMA, some shrooms. We see like flashes of like DNA. You see that like fucking man, it's like superhero comic book shit. Like
So yeah, this is classic, like
yeah.
comic book to movie adaptation.
Yeah, dude. Like he's like tripping. Like he can't even stay on the bed. He like passed out on the fucking floor. Took a blanket, went to sleep. Good night, sweet prince.
Yeah.
And
Ooh.
and then we cut into Oscorp, and it's probably one of the most iconic scenes of Willem Dafoe's history. Norman has no choice. You know, if he wants to make the deal with the military, he has to show them successful human trials. And even though Dr. Strom's like, we're not ready for that yet. 6 rats just died. He's like, he's like Thanos. He's like, fine, I'll do it myself.
Shit. He
Right?
really wanted it though, so
Yeah, he didn't want to lose the deal.
that,
Like,
I respect that.
it's all about the money. You know what I'm saying? And he volunteered himself. And he's like, you gotta put me in. You know? And he puts himself in, straps himself, goes into the fucking gas chamber. Fucking this man's hotboxing, bro. That wasn't the gas. This man had a little doobie in there. Guy
Yeah,
hotboxed it, and
Green Goblin Kush.
dude, he goes fucking nuts. You see that where his eyes are rolling back? He's like, "Argh," like that's all Willem Dafoe, dude.
Yo, who? How he didn't have to go so ham, but he did.
He did, bro. No, when he was like shaking in there, like it wasn't like Steve where he's like just yelling. This man was like fucking just. You're like, yeah, this guy's gonna become the Goblin. Like you instantly know.
Dude,
From he's like shaking like crazy, and then boom, his heart stopped for like a good minute.
yeah, that's fucked.
And you see that scene where like Dr. Strom goes in and checks on him, and then the heart beeps, and then his eyes go, and it zooms in on the eyes,
I
dude.
love that, dude. Yeah, see, this is analog as well, like the camera techniques.
Hmm. That was
That's
straight zoom right there.
amazing. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
and
See, after like after this movie, there's a lot more digital like footage of like New York, so it looks weird. It looks empty, but this is like
oh,
get the
this is
real,
pure raw.
yeah,
This is
get the real stuff.
performance art at its finest right here. Um,
Yeah.
and he like chokeholds fucking Strom. He's like, "What are you doing, Norman?" And
My
he's like,
God.
"Back to formula."
Oh,
And he fucking flings him out, breaks the glass, and he
holy shit.
fucking hops on the fucking glass frame like a goblin. This man doesn't even wearing the goblin suit yet, but I was convinced
Yeah, yeah.
this guy did the.
How did he get all those lines on his face? Form like trained
That's
his face so well.
that's stress right there. Get yourself a nagging wife. That's how you get that.
God,
That's how you create those lines right there.
oh my God.
He's just man. He's just an amazing dude. Willem Dafoe classic. You already know from his facial expressions themselves, he's the perfect like
Yeah,
pick for this part. He
yeah,
embodies Green
yeah.
Goblin.
Yeah. I heard that this whole casting is pretty
It's
amazing.
pretty amazing, I would say. There's one more amazing casting that we need to talk about later on. But anyways, and it's ironic that this is the same night as Peter's sickness. So both the hero and villain were, I guess, created on the same night. You know,
Yeah,
Peter gaining the power from a natural source, a spider, and the goblin from a chemical made, man-made vapor, gas that turned him into something crazy. Um, Peter wakes up on the floor. feeling absolutely fine, and he notices some changes. Apparently, he doesn't need glasses anymore,
Yep.
which was a pretty cool scene of him putting it on. I
Yeah.
remember I did a scene like that for in high school for a short film that we made, and I did the exact same thing where I had the guy in front of me to make it look like it was a mirror, and I just kind of did the glasses at the same time. Like, cool,
Oh, nice.
yeah. Sam Raimi, thanks for. And all you have to do is blur the whole thing when it goes up, because you actually see outside the frames it's also blurred. So like Sam Raimi was still trying to, CGI is hard in 2002, guys.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Damn attack.
yeah. He's also toned as fuck now
Yeah, yeah.
from his anorexic body
Me.
last night. He has guns. He has like a
Yep.
six pack, and he's feeling it, man. He has more confidence now. He's like, yo, I could fuck people up right now if I really wanted to. You know what I'm saying?
Dude.
A little bit. He goes downstairs. So I gotta go, Aunt May. Gotta go get some bitches with these new powers and shit like that. But we see MJ gets chased out by her dad, yelling at her, like literally calling her trash. Like, you see that? Where you're like, you're trash. I think they were playing Marvel, and then she just she got bodied too hard.
No, she won. You know, she won with a low tier team, and she was facing a zero make five player.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
I'm out of money.
She got Mihade.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Ooh.
so we learned that she has an abusive house. She lives in an abusive household. That her parents, I guess, don't treat her well. Her dad is obviously yelling at her and something about alcohol. So, um, and their neighbors as well. So Peter sees and hears all of this. Peter tries to follow her and walk with MJ, and he has a little scene where he like rehearses what he wants to say, which is a little, once again, you know,
Spring.
yeah, it's pretty cringy to see. It's like, "Hi, MJ, we've been neighbors since I was 6 years old," and then, but he's just saying it to himself, like probably 12 feet away from MJ, which is just like, oh man, you need some friends, homeboy.
Well, what if she actually heard it the whole time? That would be oof.
Yeah, that's
I
even
would
yeah.
off myself.
That's how.
Cringe.
Yep, that's how guys get friend zoned. If you do stuff like that. Anyways, he never got the chance to ask her out, but the fucking friends came through with the fucking Mustang and took her. And once again, Peter misses the bus, but this time it doesn't stop. Oh, you know why? Because MJ's not on the bus.
Oh,
Is this
true.
every single time this happens? Only she stops the bus for him? That's
Yeah. Well, he's
pretty.
always late, it looks like.
This guy's just not punctual enough, but pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
because you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
Otherwise, they would get on together. They live like right beside each other.
Yeah,
So
that's his
who's
fault.
doing?
Like, bro, you've been neighbors since six. Like, you didn't. What kind of game do you have, bro? Like, that's an easy catch.
Yeah, come on.
Um. Anyways, Peter misses the bus, and his hands get stuck on the fucking paper, the banner outside. A little clue that that power he hasn't seen yet, or he hasn't figured out yet. Um. Cut back to the Osborne Castle. Fucking the most exage looking fucking house I've ever seen.
New
I guess so. Probably like,
York.
no, I don't know about downtown. Probably like uptown or something where like all the mansions are.
Okay.
But this guy lives in a castle.
Yeah.
Norman also wakes up from the floor, woken up by Harry. He said, "Dad, are you okay? Fuck is going on, man?" They turn on the news and they learn that Dr. Strom is dead, and the glider and the suit were stolen.
Yeah.
And he's like, "The fuck? This is a little. That's crazy." Like, Norman looked genuinely concerned, and we kind of learned that it's a split personality, between the Green Goblin and Norman Osborn. Because at this moment right here, Norman has no recollection of what he did. He didn't even remember fucking choke slamming Dr. Strom out the fucking window.
Wow.
Um, but it's pretty crazy. That's why he's so maniacal. He's not just like, yes, he has super strength, um, and probably like healing factor, like whatever super soldier has. But he's not right in the head. He's like an actual maniac. Like, and it's partly not like. Can you say that Norman Osborn, just as Norman Osborn without the Goblin complex, would he still be considered a good guy?
Um, I mean, he hasn't done anything really bad yet except murdered the guy.
Yeah, but that's, if he didn't go into the fucking chamber to do it on himself, he wouldn't have done that, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's not really Norman
Yeah.
the
So,
problem because he's bargaining with the Goblin, midway through the movie.
yeah, exactly. Like, there's some ideas that Goblin has that he opposes.
Yeah,
So we see that this is sort of the first time in a superhero, and it's iconic for Spider-Man, where the bad guy is low-key justified as to why he shouldn't be totally labeled as a bad guy.
yeah.
It's just a product of something, a tragedy or an incident that happened where he didn't mean to turn into a goblin. It's just what happened, right? We get back to Peter in the cafeteria, and this is where the famous MJ slip and catch scene happened, which is right there on the picture on the screen. Apparently, this took more than 150 takes,
No
and was
way.
was actually done by Tobey Maguire himself,
That's crazy.
all practical. I'm not sure if that's the right number. That's a little exage to be catching a girl 150 times, and for MJ to say, "Wow, nice reflexes," 150 times.
Oh God, she must have been so sick of that.
At the end, he's like, whatever, nice reflexes.
Look, they got it, and
Yeah.
then she said, "Wow, nice reflexes," but it wasn't the right one. Oh, nice reflexes.
Wow, nice moves. And they're like, come on, man.
Oh, that
If
would
you
have been.
look at under the apple, there's actually a little sticky thing there to help it stick. Um, and
Oh,
the milk carton and the Jello was stuck to the plate, and they had magnets on each other. So no matter what, the Jello and the plate would always land on the milk. Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool.
yeah, made it
Ooh,
easier for
movie
him.
tricks.
Hmm.
Movie tricks.
Yeah, dude, this is movie magic right here.
Wow. Is that how the street performers do it too? Like when they juggle like crazy shit? I don't
Oh,
know.
I don't know. I don't want to, speak
Oh,
for performance arts, whether it's a skill or a scam. But there are some out there, guess your weight. Like, there's some performances out there that's just like, I don't understand how it works, but
that's
sure.
the most exag one.
Yeah, where it's just like, I'm like, you have a remote control that you just punch in the weight on the fucking scale, because this scale does not look like an ordinary fucking scale.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, oh, you're 32 pounds. Oh, fucking idiots. Jokes, but if you guys are actually psychics, shout outs to you. Anyways, Peter right now is slowly discovering his powers. He's like, whoa, I have nice reflexes, as MJ said, and then he sees this fork stuck to the fucking web, like a little jizz
Ugh,
web
it's
on his hand,
disgusting. It
and
looks
he
gross.
and he accidentally throws a tray of food on Flash,
That's
which
rough.
is obviously a bad sign because he's cardboard cutout bully. As he tries to run away from Flash, he goes to his locker, and we get this fucking cool slow mo segment of how his spider sense works. See the
Yeah.
spitball coming out, the fucking guys throwing the football and the thing, people bumping into each other. Like, that was pretty cool, man. Like, right away, these elements are something that we never got from Tom Holland.
Yeah.
So such a refreshing thing to see because yeah, at this time we needed a reminder of how Peter Parker first started out, and this is probably one of the best executed origin movies
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen in terms of like really being detailed into his powers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then Flash comes in, and these two grown 25-year-olds are gonna fight like fucking teenagers.
Dude, Flash looks like he knows what he's doing. You see that swinging
Yeah, it's
with the
fucking
tight shoulder?
yeah, dude. This guy's straight up fucking Peter Parker doing some Matrix moves over here.
Yeah, that's
Sees
great.
MJ upside down. A little foreshadowing that they're gonna upside down.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
maybe I'm reading into that too much.
I
Um,
actually didn't even think about that.
but Peter pretty much dodges every single punch, and he did that thing where it's like,
That's exciting.
you know what I mean? Like, who
How
are you,
fast?
the Flash?
That was X. I think that was 2X, you know?
Yeah. This guy said, "Who are you, the Flash?" Yeah, technically, because if you really think about it, like the time it takes to punch is pretty quick, and for him to literally have time to go that and then that,
Look,
yeah, yeah, that's not a Peter Parker power. I don't know what you're talking about, Sam.
a
um,
caricature.
but he wins. Punch to the chest, fucking flies him across the hall and hits a teacher, and then the teacher's fucking food falls on him. Classic, you know,
Gee.
classic slapstick comedy. The bad guy loses and gets dumped food on him. But we get a disappointed look from MJ, like, what's wrong? That's just not the Peter that I know. You
Yeah, what the hell? What are
know,
you talking about?
that's not how you. That's not how you. What's it called? Handle fights.
Yeah,
Be like grown men.
yeah.
Harry, on the other hand, Harry's
Yes,
like, dude, that was sick.
this guy's a hype man.
Yeah, the bro always comes through, because the bro knows, Harry, you're not, I mean, Peter, you're not gonna do that to me. You're gonna do it to everyone else. So that was sick. I
Yeah,
approve of that. Um, Peter, kind of like disgruntled, didn't know what he was gonna do, runs off in an alleyway, where he discovered that he can crawl up walls.
how?
And
Like, how do you even think about how the fuck did you? You're like, maybe.
pretty, pretty much. I've always wondered how like his feet go through the shoes.
See, would it extend like claws, like a cat?
Yeah,
Like,
because I like that little zoom in though of his hands, and then you see all the
I,
little the hairs with the razor thing on him.
the kolibot.
Yeah, the but yeah. Um, and then he starts like fucking yelling and screaming as he's doing parkour, um, on New York roof, like all the fucking. He's like, whoa!
The best. Yo, just him enjoying life.
Yeah, the graphics on that one was
Yeah,
a little 2002, you know?
yeah, like Toy Story.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, you can tell that when he's jumping from roof to roof, like, that's CGI
Yeah,
as fuck. That's not the real Peter. There's no wires in there. Sam Raimi said that's too much money. Then we see a funny sequence of Peter trying to figure out how to make the web come out. Of him different little things, and like, did you like the fact that he was an organic
no,
web
I don't
shooter?
know, because in the in the cartoon it was because there was a lot of like instances in the cartoon where he ran out of web and then the situation
Yes,
changed and then
yes.
solved it differently, right?
Yeah.
And for him to like organically just produce web, he
Mm-hmm.
would have to be eating a lot of like high protein shit.
Oh yeah, that's true. It would have to be. Yeah, it would
Yeah,
have to make sense like that.
yeah, right. You know, But I mean, it's a radioactive spider. Maybe it's like the space stone where it gives it like unlimited power for some
Yeah.
reason. But it's weird. I don't know. I don't know if I liked it.
Yeah, I was never really a big fan of the organic. And then even then, back in the final act when he makes like the web, like the big web, and you're like, how do you do that with organic? Like, you know, because that's what I liked about the show was because he had like web bombs. You know, he kind of like fidget around with it. But
Yeah, yeah,
here, it's like you can't make fucking electric, like you can't make taser webs
yeah, yeah.
with your
The part
fucking.
part of genius of Peter Parker was the high tensile.
Yes.
He developed it.
That's why we never really get the genius part from this movie, other than, of course, when he expresses his knowledge about science.
Yeah,
You know, nothing about it really screams genius because it was is the web shooters that make him. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's just fucking. Come
dude.
on, guys.
Chronicles. Let's go. Go.
Facts. BBC. You don't get this kind of epiphanies anywhere else.
Come on, guys.
But let us
Right.
know what you think. Do you guys like organic web shooters? Do you guys like the, you know, I guess
No.
what is that called? Manual web shooters? Weaponized web shooters? Whatever. Do you guys like organic or synthetic? There you go.
Synthetic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Are
We also
we?
see a failed attempt at Peter swinging, which is pretty hilarious. Something that we haven't seen from Tom Holland because by the time we met him, he was already good at that swinging stuff. I mean, he fucking fought Cap already as
Yeah.
our first introduction to him. So pretty cool for him to go through the trials for that. Peter goes home pretty late because he guess he got caught up with his powers and forgets that he's supposed to help Uncle Ben with painting the kitchen.
Feels bad, man.
This guy is fucking ungrateful. You know that? Uncle Ben's not mad. He's like, hey, Michelangelo, there's food in the fridge. And thanks for the help, you fuck. You know?
Oh
They didn't
God,
put that in. Yeah, that was in the original cut.
they should have.
Yeah, they should have. But he sees MJ fighting with her dad through the window, and he's like, "Oh, gotta get a glimpse. Gotta get a glimpse of the babe today." And he goes
Come
into
on.
the backyard, pretending to throw the trash out.
Yeah.
Right? Did you hear that? No, I
No.
didn't.
And then he drops the trash. He's been holding it the whole time for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. What are you doing there, holding the trash? Eavesdropping, you fucking liar.
God.
But he has a nice talk with MJ, kind of like a sentimental, deep talk, talking about, well, first of all, he apologized for, the way he was acting around Flash. She forgave him for that, and they talk about the future. And we learn that MJ wants to be an actress, and her parents don't really approve, and she doesn't really believe in herself. So Peter gives her some encouraging words, and he's like, "Wow, thanks, Peter. You're really nice." And he's about to ask her out, Flash Thompson comes through with a fucking convertible,
Wow. Ouch.
right? And he's like, "Come here, babe. Check out my new whip." You know what I mean? You slap that ass, smack. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, dude.
And Peter's like, "How can I? How can I do this?
Yeah.
How can I take this girl?" And he sees the car. And he's like, that's what I need. A car. Fucking Peter goes upstairs, takes the newspaper, and goes through some used cars, try to buy something to impress MJ. But he sees some car prices and he sees an ad looking for colorful wrestlers. And he's like, wait a minute, $3,000? That's the same price as this car.
$30,000. $50,000.
$50,000?
Kelsey Carter.
Um,
Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer. Um,
Kelsey. Is it Kelsey?
yeah, it is Kelsey. Yeah, so now he's like, oh man, I can totally do this. I have some fucking superpowers now. I'm gonna win this money, get this car. I'm gonna get bitches. You know what I'm saying? So he starts making these sketches of the ad says wrestlers must have colorful costumes. I guess this is one of those amateur nights, underground wrestling things. So starts drawing up some, I guess, prototype suits for it. And then there's also like overlaying pictures of cars and an MJ. It's like a really like cheesy montage of him.
Yeah.
Like it's just him in his room. Like that's all he's thinking about: cars, MJ, and suits.
Hard to take serious because he's like 20 something here. He's a fucking teenager.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's just it would have been better if he was a younger, played by a younger person. Because I never really believed. Because even later on, when people say like, "Oh no, he was in high school," I'm like, "Was he in high school?"
Oh my god, dude, the teacher in the beginning, the black guy.
Oh
I was
yeah,
like, you guys are all the same age. And
yeah, like
Asian
towering over him.
scientist, holy crap, they're all the same age.
They're all like towering over all the adults. Like you guys supposed to be in fucking grade 10. How sway?
Flash was like the 30-year-old.
Yeah, this
Like,
guy had a 5 o'clock shadow. Like
oh
how,
my
bro?
guy's thick biceps. How the fuck?
Yeah, yeah. This guy's deezed.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Um,
it's
that was a crazy montage that we get, and then Peter gets ready to go and fight. Uh, but he's lying to his, aunt and uncle, say, I'm going to the library. And he's like, no, I'll drive you. He's like, nah, I can get the train. He's like, driving you, bitch. I need to talk to you. Right? And that's where, you know, Peter gets to talk from Uncle Ben. And being a teenager, he's not really with it, He's not listening. He's too focused on going to this wrestling match, getting $3,000, getting a used car, and hopefully, going out with MJ. He's narrow-minded right now. He doesn't give a fuck about what kind of life lessons that Uncle Ben is giving him, right?
yeah, it's like, oh, I'm these now. Come on,
Yeah, he's like,
Uncle.
yo, I got a shorty to woo. You know what I'm saying?
Come on. I
Uh,
wed are like strong.
strong AF.
Oh man.
Um, Uncle Ben
Funny.
drops the famous line,
Oh man.
with great power comes great responsibility.
That's
Oof.
dude, this scene is beautiful because there is an interior of the car and they're like being shot from
From
outside,
outside. Yeah.
and
Like,
the lighting is still very nice.
you could actually see, like, just the, like, intimate atmosphere that Sam Raimi really wanted to give on Uncle Ben's side is perfectly displayed, and you see, like, the anxious, almost excited to leave and just get it over with persona from Peter Parker. And it just makes, the product of the scene that much more heartbreaking, is because this is technically Peter's last interaction with Uncle Ben. You know, he's like, "Fuck off!
Yeah,
You don't know shit. You're not my
yeah,
dad." That's what he said.
yeah.
You
It's
know,
like,
and Uncle Ben takes it like a child. He didn't yell back. You know what I mean? He's like, "You're right, Peter. I'm not your dad. But I want you to take what I said, and I'll be back here at 6 to pick you up. Still, you know, after your library, since that's what you're doing, right? You're not lying to me." Oof. Oof. Anyways, Peter's like, yeah, later. Peter arrives at the match. We see Macho Man Randy Savage playing a wrestler named Bones.
nice. I didn't know who Randy Savage was.
Okay, he's a famous WWE, WWF wrestler back in the day. And the announcer is played by Mr. Bruce Campbell himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Evil Dead, Army of Darkness. Um,
Where?
he also comes in number two as the usher, and then number three he was the waiter. It's fucking just hilarious roles. This one, and from Sam Raimi, he was supposed to be Quentin Beck. He was supposed to be revealed in Spider-Man 4 as Quentin Beck.
Would have been crazy.
Yeah, but I never went through. Anyways, shout out to Bruce Campbell, amazing guy. Peter says he's the human spider, but Bruce is like, "That's all you got, kid? Whatever. This is Spider-Man," which I guess is the origin for his name, even though he goes all Karen on him. And he says, "You said my name wrong."
Yeah.
You know?
Do it again.
Do you really want human spider? That's not a good name.
What a scientist thing to say.
Ooh, right. It is.
Yeah.
Now they're playing off how, you know,
He might as well have said, call me Homo arachnid or
yeah,
like Sapien arachnid.
fusion. The fusion of Homo arachnids or whatever.
Homo arachnica.
Yeah,
There.
yeah. Wow, that's a really good observation. That yeah, human spider is something that a scientist would probably use as a name instead of
Yeah,
being all cool and saying Spider Man.
yeah. Also known as nerd.
Yeah, well, that's what he is in this movie.
Yeah,
Uh,
nerd.
well, the Spider Man gets ridiculed towards the ring, which is just ridiculous. Cardboard cutout, fucking classic trope. Look at you, wimp. Hey, you skinny little man. You ready to get sawed by the bone saw? You know what I mean?
I love the people going, "Arr!"
Yeah,
With
like
the
they're
oil and cardboard.
pretty much. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. Saw his bones, bone saw. And they even put the cage on to like really have that thing where Peter is
Dude,
set to fail in here.
this is all practical. Like they rented a little stadium, like a
Oh
little Red Bull stadium.
yeah, all those people are there, man. That's not blue screen, green screen of just a crowd. Those were real people yelling.
Real fans of Bonesaw, you know.
Oh, I mean, yeah, they're definitely Randy Savage fans over there.
Yeah,
Um, but he fucking defeats him like it's nothing. He crawls up into the ceiling, you know, webs his feet, throws him around. He has super strength, and everybody go nuts. He won. Fucking Peter won $3,000.
yep.
Did he?
No,
Nope. Peter
no,
gets scammed. He
yeah,
gets scammed by the promoter. He only gets $100,
that's cheap.
and he's cheesed. You know what I mean? He's like, I could fuck you up right now if I really wanted to, but I'm not the type of man. I'm gonna just leave. I'm gonna leave salty. And he learns that the guy literally just got robbed the moment he left, and in spite, he lets the robber get away.
Nice.
Ooh. And at this time, for the people that don't know about what happens next, people are like, huh, serves you right, scammer. But it's a very different scene when he goes downstairs. He's supposed to meet Uncle Ben. Instead, he meets Uncle Dead.
Oh my god.
Ooh. That was pretty, man. He did a good. He was crying in that one.
Oh man, that's
Sees,
godlike scene.
hmm he sees Uncle Ben on the ground, and like it's such a powerful scene, man. Because like Uncle Ben didn't even say anything. He just said Peter, right? And he died. That's it. He didn't say one last time. For the ones who didn't hear it from the back, with great power comes. Like he didn't say that.
No.
This guy just said Peter, and then boom, dead. And Peter is fucking distraught. This man just got scammed, and now his uncle just got shot. His uncle's dead.
Yep.
Peter's like, nah, 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 nah. You can't get away from me. He said he's a carjacker. Well, I'm gonna get this fool. Peter chases him down. He goes into the alleyway so he can climb up the building. And pretty much from here on out, the chase scene is pretty dated CGI. Okay? Of him climbing and swinging.
Yeah.
Yeah, CGI wasn't
That
good.
are the streets still like filmed as New York?
I believe so. Yeah. So I
Right.
think
So it's like
this, yeah.
on top of, the CGI on top of it was kind of like it's pretty ass now.
Yeah, like you can tell which part is real and which part is CGI. Um,
Yeah.
and even just the way the body moves, like it was just so X. It's just like he's flailing his arms around a lot. Um, compared to like what he would, I
Yeah.
think, actually do, or he's capable of as just as a person. Because when you see Tobey Maguire in the suit and he's like punching instead, he's not like fucking flailing his arms around like a madman.
Yeah, it's true. Pretty
CGI Peter Parker looks a little bit crazy. But hey, he finally learns how to properly swing, which he uses to catch the robber in this abandoned building. like a
Yeah.
fucking true spider. This guy fucking he has the iconic rappel down, upside down thing. He like goes back up and he's like, "Where are you? What are you, some kind of spider or something?" It's always like the most obvious lines ever.
In New York. Hey man, you some kind of dummy. That's
Yeah. Um, and then
that's
boom, the reveal of who he was.
man.
The same person that
What's
robbed
his
the scammer. Hmm?
name? He doesn't have a name, does he?
I don't think so. I think he's just robber.
Oh,
Uh,
rip.
but we learned later on that that wasn't actually him who shot Uncle Ben. But anyways, um, but this is just guilt, Peter's guilt, and I think this is the first time he killed a guy, right?
Yeah.
Like he
Well, he didn't kill him per se. He
he fell. He like pushed him up, didn't he?
he tripped.
Oh, did he trip? Okay, I thought
Yeah.
he like.
He tripped on something because in response to like getting his arm broken, pretty much.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then it, so,
Okay, Peter just chose not to save him. Pretty much,
yeah,
that's how he
so
died.
still murder.
Okay, it's still murder
You know what I mean? Because
in the
like
eyes of people who weren't there. Yeah,
he caused the tripping.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he was zoning out in anger. Like he was just yeah. He breaks the fucking dude's wrist and then like watches him fall to his death. That's a pretty dark scene, really,
Yeah.
of
Oh,
Peter.
yeah. True.
You can't really blame him though. You know,
Yeah.
that's inner guilt. Peter goes on top of the gargoyle, starts crying. Just classic scene of Peter, being by himself on rooftops. And he had to go home, man. He had to break the news to Aunt May. Just another heartbreaking scene of him and her just hugging in the living room, Like, some dark ass shit, man.
It's pretty real.
Hmm. But we got that out of the way. Uncle Ben's dead. Good. Um,
Yeah. Let me get some Perrier real quick.
ooh. You guys doing?
What's upstream? I'm thirsty.
Um,
So Uncle Ben is dead.
Uncle Ben is dead. We cut to Quest Aerospace where we see that they're, testing some sort of exoskeleton. Um, we learn that Quest is the rival corporation that is supposed to either be them or Oscorp.
Yeah.
But
With the
after
government.
the incident of Dr. Strom dying and the glider disappearing, they had no choice but to go with Quest Aerospace, um, which is why they're there and testing the exoskeleton. But it's quickly attacked by none other than the Green Goblin himself. So we see like this is our first kind of look at the villain in full with the suit and the glider. All practical suit. He has the crazy fucking helmet on with the yellow eyes, big smiling mouth. And I don't know if he said anything here or not, but he just came in and started fucking throwing bombs, you know. And I believe that for the scenes that he's flying away, I think those were CGI, but a lot of the close-up scenes of him talking is obviously pure practical.
Yeah.
And I think the explosions in that were practical as well,
Yeah.
of the exoskeleton being
Oh,
destroyed. Yeah.
that cool like mecha looking machine that they developed
Yeah, it's just
actually floating at one point, right?
yeah. I feel like that was that real. That actually
It's
like
like hilarious because it's like so primitive as a
oh yeah, dude.
you know.
I mean, like just Justin Hammer made better looking drones than that.
Oh, that was ugly. That was like 18. It's like Star Wars looking, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Like
A
Baduy.
rebel ship.
Yeah.
It's
Uh,
just together.
but we hear his laugh for the first time as well, which is probably one of the best laughs from Willem Dafoe or in any villain laugh that we've heard so far. It's just this maniacal cackle, right? It's like ha 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 ha.
That's crazy. He's
Yeah.
crazy.
And you see that transition, man, of like the explosion of the whole base to the fucking graduation hats flying in the air.
That was amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
ridiculous, dude. Ridiculous. It's like fucking destruction to something that you should, celebrate, you know. Which is amazing because now we're at the scene where Peter is graduating, or at least everyone is graduating. MJ, Harry, all of them. And Norman expresses his deep condolences for Uncle Ben and tells Peter that he's like family.
See, he's this is before he knew he was Spider-Man and was like against him, right?
Exactly. And this type of caring for Peter is, actually looks genuine from Norman's side.
Yeah.
Because it's not like he has anything to really gain from Peter. He doesn't know that he's Spider Man. He was even offering him a job at some point. Like, he recognizes that this is my son's best friend, and I should act accordingly. And he did a pretty good job at that. Makes you. This builds up the sort of the tragic tone that they're trying to set in the eventual death of Norman Osborn, right? No spoilers. Sorry for the spoilers. Totally just spoiled the movie.
I'm dying.
Oh man. So I just took back everything I said. Whoops.
Oh, I'm dying, dude.
By the way,
Three.
Norman dies in this one. FYI.
Rip.
Anyways, and also we see MJ breaking up with Flash. Really quick segment of, we're done. It's over. Flash is like, what?
Serious or something like that.
Yeah, are you serious? Are you freaking serious?
Wow, he's mad.
But then you see, Harry's like, oh, wonder what happened there. Boom!
Yep.
This man went in for the kill, but more on that later. Still coping with the death of Uncle Ben, and of course his last bad conversation with him. Um, Peter gets some assuring words from Aunt May, and is now realizing the term or the lesson of the responsibility that he has gained
Yeah.
alongside the power that he now has, you know? And we see a little cool transition from the drawing to the city. A lot of cool transitions in this movie, man. Just fucking Sam Raimi, dude. You did a good job at the transitions here.
Yeah.
Um, and so this is full force now, and it's kind of, to me, one of the things I didn't really like was, did it really show us how he made the suit? Because right after that scene of him drawing more suits is like the montage of fucking Spider-Man gaining public attention, newspaper headlines. We see talking head interviews from like New York residents, like, him stopping a bunch of crime, and it just felt a little too fast, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a I don't think the classic like movie montage really works with superhero movies.
yeah,
You know?
because and plus, if he really showed us how he made the suit, like bit by bit, I mean, that's a well tailored suit. I mean, since
Yeah.
when was this guy a seamstress?
Yeah, what the fuck? Did he gain like are spiders like fucking good at seamstressing?
Technically, I mean, they can weave webs, right?
Oh shit! You know what? Dream. We have just found the Easter egg of a life that the spider powers give you better seamstress skills.
Damn.
That's
These,
how he. Oh, dude, because that's a motorcycle leather, right?
yeah, pretty much, yeah. Like, and a combination of, I guess, other flexible and breathable fabrics. that would
Yeah,
you would assume would be made from a Spider-Man suit, right? And
yeah,
like, does it go? Does it have a pipe that goes through his wrist? Like, how does the
exactly.
organic thing come out? There's a little rushed on that part, on the suit part, to me, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah,
Um, but
yeah.
yeah, pretty
This is
much
fun.
a quick interview with some people. And we get a little mixed reviews from people. They say, "Yeah, that man's good, man." The other guy's like, "No, I like his face. I think he's a menace." You know what I mean? Um, and we get introduced to the man himself, one of the best picks for J. Jonah Jameson is fucking J.K. Simmons. This
Yeah,
guy embodies J. Jonah Jameson. Like, he hates his wife. He wants pictures of Spider Man. He treats everybody in the office around him like complete idiots, and he just bosses everybody around. His all of his lines are just too funny, man. Like, he's literally the J. Jonah Jameson. And more importantly, he thinks he's a criminal, right? Where he's like, he's a criminal. He's a menace. He's like, he just saved the bank robbers. Why is he wearing a mask? What does he have to hide? You know, like,
I like that. He's well, he's like typical New Yorker that like doesn't
hater.
trust.
It's a hater. Yeah,
Yeah. He's
yeah,
like distrusting. You know.
yeah, yeah.
I like
Uh,
that.
and we learned that, and he quickly learns that any story on Spider-Man is instant hotcakes. Instantly sells the most newspaper. So, of course, in order to make news about Spider-Man, you need to have pictures of Spider-Man. And this is very iconic, not from just the TV show, but from the comics as well. This is one of J. Jonah Jameson's classic lines of "Give me pictures of Spider-Man."
Yep. Spider Man.
Yep. Um, Back to Peter. He runs into MJ.
The one of the dude was like
Oh,
he mentioned Eddie Brock, so Eddie
yes,
was
the black
already
guy.
working for the Bugle at this point.
Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, we do get a slight, I guess, a verbal cameo of Eddie Brock, who is a very famous character from the Spider Universe, as the guy who ends up being Venom.
Yeah,
And later on, we learned that he is played by Topher Grace. But really cool name drop there, and I'm sure comic fans back then were salivating as soon as they heard that little name.
yes,
Eddie
yeah.
Brock is iconic, man, especially in the TV show.
Oh my God, what a I like that storyline.
Yeah, he was
Really good.
sick. He was sick.
Wow,
He was just jealous, man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Uh,
He was huge. What the fuck?
yeah, I don't know. That's why when I first saw Topher Grace, I'm like, that doesn't.
Yeah, it's not Eddie Brock. But
That's not
you know what? Photographers aren't buff.
well,
You know,
yeah, that is true. That is also a very weird journalist body for a journalist. You know what I mean? How
yeah,
heavy? How heavy are these cameras really?
yeah,
You gotta think.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, shout outs to Eddie Brock. Cool little cameo there. Peter runs into MJ. Runs into MJ. Apparently, took 2 trains to get there. Um,
Oh my
and
God!
she's sort of embarrassed to be a waitress since she doesn't want Peter to tell Harry. And we also learn
Don't
that
tell Harry.
don't tell Harry, guys. That what a way to call back from MJ. Even I did that caught me off guard a little bit. Later on, but hits it a little bit harder and kind of tells you a lot about Peter and that's decisions he makes later in life. Anyways, we'll talk about that later on. But we learn here too that MJ is going out with Harry.
Come
Ooh,
on, Harry. Come on,
yo,
Harry. But you know what, Harry? You need a break because you're a rich kid who dropped out of school because you got in trouble, and then you got to go to public school. And you're like, richer than everyone. And you're like, you know what? I just want to short you. Is that okay? Sure.
yeah. But thing is, man, Harry knew that Peter was googling. Was googly eyed for fucking MJ. But then again, it's not like Peter would have made a move, right?
Exactly, because he knew that Peter was just loafing. And he's, you know what? I've given Peter enough time. I've said to him, day one,
Talk
at the
to
sign,
her, right?
you know, Go, fine. If you're not gonna do it, then
I'll do it myself. That's what he said, right?
exactly at that moment.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
he gave you two chances too, so
they've been neighbors since they were 6 years old. Peter had chances. You know what I'm saying? So it's not completely. This is not entirely a scumbag move from Harry. But a little heads up would have been nice, in my opinion. A little bit of like, yo, bro, mahala at her, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, have you
even her.
ever have you ever done that before to anybody? Where like you knew somebody liked somebody and then you wanted to holla and you had to tell them like, yo, I'm howling at her.
I can't say that that's happened
Mm.
in a civil manner.
You would have just went for it. You wouldn't even ask still what it is, or you never been in that situation.
I've never been in that situation, actually.
Oh, okay, well, good for
Yeah,
you. That's good because I feel like that's sort of like a an awkward conversation to have. And
not with a friend.
also with an enemy then.
It's not like we talk about it. It's like, hey, you at the round table.
Like that type of friend. Me neither. I mean, I don't think I've ever liked
Oh,
somebody. What?
there was one time in high school. Right?
No names.
So,
No names. No names.
oh yeah, yeah, okay, okay. So I was really good friends uh, with this girl who was, eventually like, admittedly was into me at the time,
Hmm.
but
Oh, you
so
know
I was
somebody
hanging
that
out.
liked her.
No, this other fob guy was dating her, right?
Okay.
Fob guy was dating her, and she was like super good friends with me with the same lunch period in high school.
Oh, nice.
We hung out with people, and then because like the first cell phones, or like not even we didn't have cell phones for like pictures,
No,
right?
we had actual cameras, pictures.
Digital cameras, like snapshot,
Cyber
they'll have
shot. Yeah.
1 gig, 2 gig of memory.
Hmm.
So someone brought a camera on Civi's day and then took a picture of the two of us like sitting
Oof.
beside each other.
Oof.
Like, yo, it's actually jokes because we're just sitting beside each other, right?
It's not even like there's no indication that there was any
It's
affection for each other.
not like I have got my like hands like underneath, like fucking fondling her.
Yeah.
It's such an innocent picture.
Hmm.
It's just us
Right.
just beside each
They just
other.
literally get the camera like this. They're like,
Yeah, because it's like you don't actually pose around a camera often because it's a special occasion when someone brings their camera, right?
yeah, candid shots. Yeah.
One day I get a message because someone like I don't know, they uploaded to Friendster or something. So I get a message from in Facebook from like a stranger, and I didn't know the name. It's like, hey, why are you sitting beside my girlfriend?
Ooh.
What the fuck are you talking about? I haven't seen the picture yet, by the way. Like, yo, and I'm like, I think I'm on the bus or something when I'm like, or maybe no, I'm at home definitely. I'm not checking this, like,
Yeah, you're not on the phone checking this. Yeah, you're at home. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm in the basement. Instead of getting these messages, why are you sitting beside my girlfriend?
What did you say?
We're just friends.
That's
Oh, yeah,
man was
yeah.
hit with the insecurity.
Dude, I was great. I was scared because like
Why? What
they,
is he gonna do to you?
I don't know, but he looked like fob kind of gangy, like gangy kind of fob.
Ah, I see. Yeah,
Like,
yeah, 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 yeah. The burqa. This guy.
no, like the word he has a barcada, like not a
Oh,
bar.
okay. I thought it meant like the groove of the burqa. Rest in peace, rap. Um.
Oh my
Uh, wow. You almost got into a scuffle there, man.
I'm saying it's like I don't want any heat. I don't want any smoke.
If that was me, I would have been like, "You're wrong. She was sitting on top of me, bitch." Boom.
Oh,
That's how you get into fights.
that's crazy.
Classic.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't.
Uh, Well, that's not really the same thing as Harry and I
Yeah,
guess.
we're not friends. We
Yeah, you're
weren't
not
friends.
friends. One time I told this guy that I was gonna holler at his cousin, but that's the closest one.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, right. It's like, yo, I just want to let you know I'm hollering at your cousin. It's like, oh, okay.
Respect for like, you know.
That's a respectful thing for me to do, right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't want to just like see you at a family party one day. What the fuck? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I can invite you. Yeah.
Yo, is Tita June here? Yo, what up? So like getting going off. Um,
And then his parents are like, "Oh, Jarrell, oh, you're here." And he's like, "Oh shit."
you're like this guy.
Okay.
I would never. I would tell you if I was hitting on your cousin. Anyways, yeah, we learned that Harry is going out with MJ. A little bit scummy. Um, and Peter looks like he feels some type of way with it. So you know, he goes to Harry's house. Um, and he almost confronts him about MJ, but decides to say that this is not the time for that. But he also mentions that he got fired from Dr. Connor's lab for being late. That's another name drop cameo. Dr. Connor being the lizard from the comics. So.
Is it Reptile or the Lizard?
Oh, is it? I think Reptile is from Mortal Kombat, isn't it?
Oh fuck, you're right.
Either way, they're both lizard people. So, of course, we
True.
don't see the lizard until later on in Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. But really cool that they're still, I guess, acknowledging a lot of the actual names from the comic books in this movie.
Yeah, to be honest, they're like building a universe. It's like the original template of what the MCU really. Because
Yeah,
even you try to fit the Tobey Maguire movies in the MCU, you could like say it happened.
you can.
And
Yeah, yeah. With the way that they're running the narrative on it, it's like tamed. It's really nice. It goes in the middle of superhero like glitter and realism. Kind of like puts it in the middle somewhere, which is really dope.
yeah,
Um, but he was about to confront him about MJ, but he got distracted when he saw the ad on the newspaper for Spider-Man pictures.
oh shit,
Nice.
get that car.
Yeah, so now he's about to. Well, I don't think he cares about the car anymore, and Uncle Ben's dead. So he gets to keep his car now. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I got the van, that's what he said, right?
I got the van. Oh shit,
Um,
it's a constant reminder.
he gets some Spider-Man photos and he tries to sell them to JJ. And their photos are obviously they're not candid at all. It's like the most set up photos of all time.
Saj, dude,
Yeah, it's like a photo shoot, right? The way he's like
so lit.
posing from the for the camera,
Yeah,
and I just couldn't stop laughing at how JJ was, man. $200, $200. That's all I got. And he's like, if you don't like it, go somewhere else. And he stood up. He's like, stop, sit down. $30, like.
standard, and then he says it's standard.
Yep, that's standard for what's it called? What do they call that again? What is it?
For free.
Yeah, freelancers. A lot of you artists out there use that
Oh,
term
man.
a lot. You know that word. You know how hard it is to make a living like that.
Dude, I worked in photography since I was like 17, right?
Hmm.
I've never had a boss like JJ, but the pay is like this. It's like for each assignment, it's like this, and you're like, fuck. When's the next assignment? I don't know.
You don't know. Yeah, you gotta keep going and try to
It
find
may,
direction on your own. Hmm?
it may seem like 300. That's sick. It's like yeah, but you may not get work for another month.
Yeah, exactly. And you're gonna have to let that 300 support you for the next month. Like that's bad. Um,
I think that was rent. Like his whole rent is like $300.
yeah. I well, not he doesn't have rent right now. I think that's in like Spider-Man 3. But anyways, he's pretty confident now. You see the secretary saying, "Welcome to the Bugle."
Hey, she's kind of cute, Peter.
Peter's like,
She's on staff. Come on.
she's what?
is on staff. Like
Yeah,
you're a freelancer.
yeah, you can't do that. You can't mingle. You don't dip your pen in the company ink. God damn it. Uh, Peter Parker might. Spider-Man 3 though.
Hey,
Um, Cut back to Oscorp. Despite winning over the military deal, Norman is pushed out by his board from his own company, and he's like, "Oh, you about to die, son? All of you, dead." Once again, his killings are sort of justified, or at least they're all, you know,
Justified is
as a goblin. You know what I mean? Like he wouldn't have to kill them if they didn't push him out of his own company. You know what I'm saying? The goblin had ammo for his actions.
I
You know what I mean?
mean,
Because the goblin wouldn't know what to do, right? Like, if this
mm,
didn't happen, what would the goblin do?
okay, maybe he should have let Willem Dafoe take over because Willem Dafoe has accountants and business strategists. It's a whole team, a
Right.
whole attorney of like legal
I'm sure
experts.
that he can, I guess, try to persuade or come out on top from all this. But, you know,
Yeah, yeah. But then he played Marvel with his heart.
yeah. He said, Marvel is for the people. That's what he said. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Chilean sensation.
yeah.
Um,
He knew the super armor was gonna protect him. So,
yeah. Yeah, he just went in there swinging with a fucking H. Um,
whole crowd goes woo.
woo. Uh, but yeah, he's pissed now, and I think we know what's gonna happen to them. Um, at least from Norman's eyes, because his eyes were just like, yeah, they're about to die. Cut into the Macy's Day Parade, ironically with Macy Gray performing. Yep,
Yeah, this whole movie is like surprises.
yep.
Big names. Like wow,
I saw Macy Gray. I was like, yep, this is 2002. Yep,
yeah, stacked.
that this is what 2002 would be. Peter's taking pictures, obviously, trying to get some money for JJ now because he's sort of a low-key journalist. In any event that happens in the city, he would be there. But he spots MJ and Harry on the terrace. Ooh.
Oh, why is she wearing that dress?
Uh, is this cultural appropriation?
Yeah, a lot. I think. You know, it's not. It's I don't know. I actually don't know. How do people feel about this? Let us know.
I don't know, they asked Bobby Lee the same thing, right? I was watching a podcast or listening to podcasts with Bobby Lee and showed him a picture of a girl wearing a Chinese dress, and then it's going out to prom with a white guy, right? Right. And then they asked Bobby Lee, does this offend you? Uh, that she's wearing this and it's from your culture and stuff like that. And he's like, she could have at least went out with an Asian guy.
True.
He said, but he said, uh, I don't think I should be because he said he was wearing jeans and a shirt that day, and he says this is what white people wear. Am I culturally, you know what I mean? Where it's like this is wrong for me, a Chinese man to wear. Because if you go to China, this is not really something that they would usually wear. Maybe,
True.
So I don't know. I mean, it really depends, man. If MJ was going around going ching chong ching ching chong, like, then then I would be like, yeah, that's malicious. That's
You gotta
malicious.
warn me.
No, I mean, like that's malicious intent on using to display an image of yourself of being Chinese. You
Very
know what I
true.
mean? But
Yes.
she's wearing a nice looking dress. Matches her hair. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, she wasn't doing like anything Chinese. She was just wearing the Chinese dress.
Yeah, she wasn't going
Or
around.
like or like
Yeah. She was running on the walls, summoning dragons and shit. Then yeah, maybe that's a little offensive.
yeah, she's like Kikoken, and then you know, a
What
red.
is what is Kikoken?
It's a red Chun Li.
Oh,
Okay, she's like Kikoken.
yeah, yeah. She has a crazy OTG. I don't know how it works.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, she's wearing like a Asian, I guess Chinese dress or whatever. But as he's staring at them, he gets distracted by this like weird sound and his spider sense. It's like a really cool sound effect of like just like zoning in on a specific sound, and it's sort of like the glider and the goblin laugh a little bit at the same time. Goblin comes through, flies around for a little bit. Everyone's like, "Whoa, let's look at that." Let's CGI's a little data on that one. You can tell that it's a fake goblin up there. Um, and starts fucking chucking bombs at the fucking
No,
terrace.
holy shit. That's
Yeah,
his son. His son's in this fucking terrace.
yeah, dude. Harry is there, but he was mainly going after the fucking board committee members who were all conveniently lined up for him for a nice bomb to fucking explode. And that scene is pretty crazy because, first of all, the terrace, all the destruction was all practical.
Yeah.
Mary Jane like hanging on was all real. Looks really cool. I don't know about falling into the people, but we do see a quick Stan Lee cameo. Uh, I guess one of the first Stan Lee cameos of him helping a little girl from the debris, which is crazy because it's not even like he had a line. This was like a legit cameo,
And
like spot him if you can type.
yeah, cameo. That's what it was. Because
Yeah,
people, you have to spoon feed over the years. Because people are like, I didn't see him.
yeah. Like in the MCU, he's super obvious because he usually gets a couple of lines here and there, and it's for comedic effect or whatever. But in this one, it was quick, man. He just literally turned around and fucking, um, like, you had to like rewind it if you really wanted to take a good look at it. But yes, that was Stan Lee. Crazy. Um, Spider Man comes through. We get the iconic scene of Peter running down the street and him opening his chest
Oh
up like
my
fucking
god, that's
Superman.
ridiculous.
I don't know where he puts the rest of his clothes, but he comes through and goes hand to hand combat uh, with a goblin, and Goblin is fucking talking like he's in Marvel. Did you hear that? Where like he blocks him, he's like impressive. It's like, oh
Oh,
man, like this is fucking Marvel, baby.
I'm so hyped with this. Oh, God.
Because
It's so
dude, Goblin's like his anecdotes and all his like sayings are so like comic book like. Oh man, if we get a Green Goblin in the next fucking Marvel versus Capcom game, that'd be pretty godlike. I would take him.
that would be the taunt would be back to formula.
Oh yeah! X Factor's like impressive.
That would be god. Like
Yeah.
I want that.
And it's interesting how he says impressive because Goblin is impressed with Spider-Man's abilities, much the same way that Norman is impressed by Peter's intelligence.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Spider-Man disables the glider, fucking rips out the thing on the bottom, and then Goblin says the cheesy line, "We'll meet again, Spider-Man."
yeah. Classic.
Dude, it's classic. If you guys are old enough to still be, to still have watched a lot of Cartoon Network TV shows of like superheroes and whatever, that's a classic line right there of
Yeah.
Monster of the Week. Just like Inspector Gadget, right? I'll
Yeah.
catch you next time, Gadget. You know,
The claw.
the Claw, yeah. He has a crazy voice or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, how do you do it?
Classic.
Let me see if I
Go
can.
deep.
I'm trying to
Oh my
replicate
god,
the voice.
get scared.
Uh, I'll catch you next time.
Oh, yeah.
Is it that?
No,
Did I
that's
get
the
that right?
one.
That's the one.
That's-
Catch you next time. Catch it.
oh
And
my
then,
god. This guy didn't even need to use autotune.
yeah,
That was manual.
that was manual right there. Anyways, it's interesting that Peter Parker or Spider-Man pretty much just took that thing out of his glider away and it kind of made it malfunction. Dr. Strom was actually his lead aerospace technician, which is probably the reason why he didn't really fix that glider all too well,
Oh,
which
yeah.
ultimately kind of killed him because it's sort of an oversight. Um, I don't know. Let us know if that's something that makes sense later on. Losing your technician can mean that you gotta fix things yourself, and he probably didn't fix it right, which got him killed. Spoilers. Um. Anyways, MJ is saved from her fall. We see that stupid swinging shot of MJ with a dummy Spider-Man. It's just like
It's bad.
this man's not moving. This guy's dead.
Oh man,
Obviously,
the
as a
things that they got away with.
yeah, facts, dude. As a kid, obviously, I didn't really notice this at first, and like even later on, because you're so focused on MJ's reaction to the
Yeah.
swinging that you don't really notice that Spider-Man is.
Oh, the man is stuffed.
This man is a mannequin. This isn't real. This guy.
Oh man, you're
Uh,
telling me they're swinging and this guy's not fucking moving? It's just
yeah,
a
like his
rock.
arms are not moving at all. It's just like his head is just somewhat still. Oh
Yeah,
man, but
come
it
on.
was very
Dude.
quick. So at least they tried. Right? At least they
Yeah, and
tried.
that's why MJ's face was like that. She's like, "Oh, this is gonna look terrible."
It's like, when are they ever gonna make Jumanji 2? That's
Oh
gonna make
shit!
more money than this. Um,
Fucking hell, dude. I want to be in the studio while she was filming that. Like, all right, Miss Dunst, we're gonna need you to look like
yeah,
you're over the
yeah.
city.
Where's Toby? Oh no, no, no! You're gonna hug this thing right here.
What?
It doesn't even have any arms. Just fucking do it, Kristen. Just shut up.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
Sam. Um.
Oh fuck.
Anyways, we get the line here. Who are you? And he says, "I'm just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man."
Oh no, he said, you know me.
Oh, you know me. You know me.
Yep.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, bitch. And he's all jittery because when he swung away, he's like, "Woohoo!"
Yee-hee. He's like, yee.
This guy is killing as fuck right now. You know what I mean?
He's oh my god. He's like, I gotta turn on the OPM.
Oh yeah, he's at home, right? He's fucking River Maya is just going off on his playlist right there.
Oh man.
Yeah. Then we get a cut to Harry Osborn, who is talking to MJ, and he's like, "Incredible, incredible how?" And we learned that MJ's talking about Spider-Man, and I guess she has a little crush on Spider-Man. And he's getting a little frustrated, and Peter is at the back grinning like a fucking Chad. This guy's just, it's me, buddy. You know what I'm saying? You have
Wow.
no idea. You know. And this is sort of like building up to that with a "Don't Tell Harry" thing, where Peter is has to keep a lot of things from Harry, and it's putting a little tension on their friendship. There's a lot of unspoken things that and I'm sure that Harry is innocent, and he really doesn't know anything, his intuitions and stuff like that. But a lot of the burden of the things that Peter has seen in this movie, he has to keep away um, from Harry, which is one of the reasons why he can't have MJ at the end either, because that's just one of the things that he can't afford to lose, right? Because he has a great responsibility now. The people that he knows can be in grave danger because of who he is and what he knows, right? Um, Anyways, back in the Osborne residence, Norman is fucking going crazy, talking to himself. His split personality is finally revealed through a stellar performance by Willem Dafoe, talking to himself in the mirror, going back and forth. It's like fucking Gollum and
Yep.
and what's his name? Smeagol. He has like that like he's going towards the
Oh
fucking
my god,
with the
that
newspaper.
face
He's
was
like, "We
ridiculous.
killed him," and he like turned back. He's like, "Why did I kill him?"
Oh my god. He perfectly captured what it's like to be at home alone and you see a mirror and you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
Get my Defoe on.
Yeah, let me set a term now. Let me get my Defoe on.
Yep.
And it's interesting if you look at it. Around his house, we see a portrait of a woman at the back in a black dress. Um, this might be either Norman's ex-wife or maybe his mother, but it kind of makes sense as to uh, as to why Harry probably told MJ to wear a black dress to impress her father at the parade is because we see that a woman in the black dress is somebody in Norman's life that he probably likes or probably respects, and just a little. Is that reaching too far?
That's weird.
Well, because
So,
it's like it's just a weird thing for Harry to say like he likes black dresses, right? And then I saw the woman in the black dress. I'm like, oh, it's probably because his ex-wife was wore a lot of black dresses, or his
I
mom
mean,
or black dresses.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Let me know, guys,
Does
in the
though.
comments if I'm reaching too far in that one. Anyways, cut to Peter selling more pictures of Spider-Man to JJ, and he coins the name Green Goblin. And of course, he's putting Green Goblin and Spider-Man in the same criteria of menaces and criminals in the world. And Peter is still fighting against putting a bad image on Spider-Man, which is hilarious. And fucking gets interrupted out of nowhere with the fucking blast through the fucking
Jump
window.
scare. There it is.
A lot of another jump scare in this movie, and fucking Green Goblin comes in. We see that JJ kind of covers for Peter a little bit, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
just I don't know where that's coming from. You come in the mail a little
yeah.
bit. What do you think that is, or was that something that they probably looked
Nope.
over?
Hey man, that's J. Jonah Jameson. He doesn't rat his journalists out. You know?
Yeah, I think like the more selfish reason is because he knows that he can't get pictures like that from anywhere else. And that
Yeah,
if he rats out Peter, he's gonna lose his only Spider-Man photographer, and he's gonna lose that much money. At the end
yeah,
of the day, it's all about the money for him.
yeah. That's
Uh,
the business mentality. That's the Mamba.
yeah, the Mamba mentality. Facts.
Yeah,
Anyway, Spider-Man shows up. Coincidentally, when Peter Parker disappears from the office,
yeah.
um,
Very.
puts a fucking thing on Jay Jonah's mouth and but gets knocked out by fucking gas. Like that's such a trope.
Sleep, yo, come on. Like, what was that all about? Sleep.
Yeah, like
Like, am I supposed to not assume that it's a sleeping gas?
yeah,
Like,
like you Spider-Man, bro. Can't you like fall and like swing away? Cause he had time to like inhale it, and he's like, "What is this, bro?"
yeah. Oh,
Yeah, that's the classic trope, bad guy trope of like
yeah,
using sleeping gas.
yeah. But then, how many villains really use sleeping gas? Like, a lot, right?
yeah,
In movies,
yeah,
but this
like
is real life.
generic ones.
A goblin. It's like,
Yeah.
do goblins excrete gas? No, not really.
Yeah, can he just like he has super strength? Can he just like, you know, put a rope on Spider-Man's leg and like drag him away up top and talk to him? You don't have to fucking put him to sleep to kidnap him. Um,
Yeah,
anyways, anyways, he kidnaps Spider-Man on his glider, and Goblin on the rooftop tries to convince Spider-Man that they were too exceptional for the people. He's like, "We're special, man. You don't understand. Like these people, like you'll be eventually be hated by them. So it's
yeah,
better if we join forces." You know,
he's right.
and he's like, "Think about it." You know, doom doom doom. Think
Oh,
about it, right? And he
think about
leaves.
it, like Pharrell.
Yeah, take a second. Think about it. Doom doom doom
Matter of
doom
fact,
doom doom.
it takes 4-3. Oh shit.
A little skateboard beat.
Oh my god.
Doom 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 doom.
Walk to that song.
The pimp's in the crib, man. Anyways, so I can get distracted. He has to think about it. Next day, we see Spider-Man is being accused of attacking the Daily Bugle, and he's like flashback in his head again, where it's like they will eventually hate you. He kind of brushes it off. He goes to see if MJ got the audition and offers a cheeseburger since he didn't get it. Iron Man also likes cheeseburgers. She said, "Yeah, maybe someday, but I gotta go have dinner with Harry." Ooh, but now we get a little hint that MJ knows that he likes her, but he just doesn't have the balls to say it. It's like, this girl's like, "Yo, I know you like me, man. Just say it." But Peter's like, too shy, man. You know what I'm saying? Grow some balls, dog. Some spider balls.
He needs to get bit by a spider with large balls.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
with large balls. Oh my god. And then as MJ is leaving, we see the most obvious thugs, right?
He's like, hey,
Yeah,
hey, come
as she's passing by, she's like, "Yo, check her out. Oh yeah, let's go get her." Like, really, dude? Like, who talks like that, dude?
I think that because of how caricature his like Sam Raimi's characters are, that that's what makes them so memorable because
That's what it is, dude. Like,
everyone everyone else's moves are like subtle, like, oh, I'm surprised that that one was the thug, or like I'm mildly surprised, or like I'm really surprised.
exactly, and these are
I'm
thug lines.
They almost said, "I'm a thug," ha ha ha,
Straight up,
right
I'm a
back.
thug.
Like,
um,
what
yeah,
the fuck?
so we see some obvious thugs, and then we get a quick alley fight. It's kind of cheesy in the rain. Like, I don't know why he didn't have his mask on. Then like ran away and put the mask off. Like, it was a little weird, don't you think? Like, I don't even remember that from like my first watch through. Like,
That was weird setup to the rainy tits, and because that's what we're all here for, ladies and gentlemen.
the rainy tits.
The famous scene, the MTV um famous most famous kiss award that year.
Oh yeah, MTV Movie Awards. You're
You remember?
right.
I remember that
Yeah,
famous kiss award that
yeah.
year.
Yeah, it was a weird setup because that that fight scene was super cheesy. You remember that we like held people in the back? It's like, "Rah!" It was just like,
Punch, like he's
just,
strong. You get it. Like these are just street thugs. Like they're not super bad guys. Chill.
yeah. And he didn't use any of his webs. Like, he was just doing,
Flex.
yeah. And he's like, "Hey, wait!" And he didn't have a mask on, and he fucking climbed up,
Yeah.
and he
Oh,
went down. It's right to it. It's like
like, oh shit, 6 feet away. Like I need to get my mask.
social distancing, man. Look at the sticker on the floor.
I'm dying.
Um, anyways, yeah, we get the classic upside down kiss, which is super iconic. Um, I haven't even thanked you yet. Oh well, what a little mink. What a little mink.
Wow.
Apparently in this scene, Tobey Maguire was drowning
X.
because where they put the flap on his nose, the water was building up, and he was kissing Kristen Dunst, so he couldn't really breathe either. So he was suffering at that point.
That sucks.
Another sacrifice made by Tobey Maguire to give us such an iconic scene.
Look good on camera though. Thanks, man.
Yeah, that was really good. Like, as a kid, I was like, "Damn, Spider-Man."
Yeah. Ooh, I want to be like that.
Yeah,
Get spider powers. This girls
yeah.
in the pain.
Upside down, and fucking that, and whatever.
Hell,
Uh, anyways, this must have been a full confidence booster for Spider-Man, because the next day, oh what? There's a burning building with a baby stuck inside. Classic.
my
Just
baby. Oh my god. See, she's memorable, right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Pop was like, "I'm taking you in, motherfucker." He's like, I gotta get this baby, or like, I gotta get this other lady.
Yeah. He's like, "Well, I'll be right here waiting for you to take you in." He's like, "I'm not coming back, officer." Like, he's just telling him.
This
But
is my
yes, he has full confidence now. He's going in there fucking into the fire, saving these babies coming out, and he goes back because here's another person trapped in there. Oh, guess what? It's the motherfucking Green Goblin with a fucking little old woman's hoodie. Hoodie on.
Jump scare
Which was
again.
yeah, another jump scare, right? And man, this burning building fight is pretty sick. Not
Yeah,
gonna lie, we get the slow mo Matrix evasion
yeah,
shot
yeah,
of the goblin slicers.
yeah, yeah. Because we're fresh off the Matrix like high, you
Hmm.
know.
2000, yeah.
Yeah,
And to have the contrast of like all the burning parts at the back, oh, it was really cool, man. But yeah, Goblin here was like, "Well, what do you think? We should join." And Peter's like, "Hell no, cut! I'm taking you in." They fight, and
yeah.
he gets sliced on
Ooh,
the wrist.
ouch.
Wow, this guy's
Sakit.
Papa Roach. This guy's cut my life into pieces. You know,
Suffocation.
no breathing. But yeah, Peter escapes, and it's crazy how like the fire transitions to fucking Norman Osborn in
Yep.
the elevator attending Thanksgiving dinner with Harry and Peter. And
This guy's
who?
um Harry. I mean Norman. He's the highest.
Yeah, he looks like he doesn't really know how to control himself. He looks kind of like he has a like a person who has a lot of secrets to hide. Pretty much, that's what he was. You know, we get a small scene of Peter hiding from them in the house, of him, you know, crawling in the ceiling and the blood almost spattering
Oh
on
yeah.
on Norman. But when Peter eventually gets to dinner, he was a little late, and he said, "I had to beat an old lady to get this," which is funny because the Goblin was disguised as an old lady. So I guess
Yeah.
he was talking about that. Um, and we noticed that Peter is wearing a green dress shirt, and Norman is wearing a blue shirt with a red tie. So they're
Oh,
kind of, I guess, both wearing each other's colors from their hidden identity.
interesting.
And MJ is finally wearing a black dress. So, hey, she listened to Harry's advice and wanna impress your dad. Never really worked in this scene, but she's wearing a black dress. Norman sees through the bleeding shirt and he gets a fucking epiphany's head. Fucking starts to panic, right? He's like, what's going on after being slapped by Aunt May because he was, you know, fucking fidgeting with the fucking stuffing, right?
Oh my god, that was iconic.
That's a crazy scene.
Look, he licked his
Yeah, he's
fingers.
like, would you do the honors, Norman?
So,
Shlink, shlink. I guess.
oh my,
Um, yeah, Norman sees through the bleeding shirt, and instantly he puts it all together, and he fucking storms out. Right? He's like, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. Harry's like, whoa, what the fuck are you trying to do? I'm trying to. I put MJ here, trying to meet you, and he said some pretty bad things about MJ. Right?
yeah, we
It's like
didn't even know her.
all women are the same. They just start coming off of your trust funds like bitches. Right?
Oh my god,
And
he's like, and you could tell the kind of relationship he had with his ex-wife.
mm-hmm. That hey, this guy, it wasn't probably a mutual breakup. She most likely left him. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
he's
and like took some money probably.
ooh, that's exactly like that. Um, and MJ's like, thanks for defending me, you fucking jackass,
Yeah,
right? And then Harry's like, what are you talking about? I'll be lucky if I become half of the man that he is. We see that Harry really loves his father and admires him a lot to a point where
yeah,
like that's a little foreshadowing to his eventual fall to the dark side and becoming the next goblin, you know?
that's
Because just like his glider, it's half of what his goblin's glider is, right? He has a small glider. I don't know if that reaching too far, guys. Uh
the fuck.
anyways, Norman is at home and he's now fucking conflicted. He's talking to the mask like it's fucking Hamlet with a skull. And he's like, in order to get Spider Man, we must attack his heart.
The approach is so sick.
Yeah, pretty much. He's the fucking mask is like hanging off, and he's like crawling. He's like, I don't want. That's Harry's friend.
my God.
Oh my god! And this is the most iconic scene, dude. Aunt May praying. Fucking jump scare out of nowhere. Goblin again with a bomb to the window. Deliver us
Final shot.
from evil.
Come on, like I brought my mom to fucking see this movie with me. Like, come on, guys.
Facts,
She's
dude.
having a heart attack. Like, I'm having a heart attack because she screams.
That
I was
was
like, what, 11? What, 12? I was 12 years old. The fuck? Like, I can't go in there without an adult.
was it? Oh yeah, I went there with my dad and my cousin. My cousin slept the entire movie.
Rip.
He woke up. He's like, "Yo, that was sick." I'm like, "What part, bro? You sleeping the entire time? Don't
Aw,
talk to me."
rip.
Shout out to DJ. Yeah, that was a crazy scene. Very well done. Jump scare, and it just shows you another impactful event that the Goblin did towards Peter Parker. You know, just the scummy things that he's been doing. Right? He goes into the hospital and fucking Aunt May is like, "Those scary yellow eyes." Oh. Right? She's like PTSD from all of it. She goes, calms down. But MJ's also there. Ooh. You know what I mean? She's
Ooh,
like,
time to nap.
yeah, she's like, Peter, I really like this guy, Spider Man. Peter's like,
My God.
it's like, I'm a friend of his. Classic.
What a loser. Oh my God. I
It's,
felt,
it's like, really? What did he ask you? It's like, what did you tell him about me? And he's like, that you're pretty, that you're cool. And it's like, this
is
most.
listening to shit. And she's like, oh, fucking kill me. It's so corny. Like, somebody pulled a plug. That's so corny.
This guy's, where's your fucking fedora, man? You're missing that.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm yours. Oh, God. We might
just,
as well have fucking pull the guitar that he brought, that he brings
yeah.
everywhere.
He was about to, he's like, Willie, you done me.
Ah,
Um, anyways, Harry comes in and sees them holding hands.
yeah.
Oof.
Which is like a dumb thing to assume because this is Aunt May in the
Yeah,
hospital.
it's probably just for comfort, man, for consolation, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not bending her over the fucking counter. You know what I mean?
The
Like,
ground with me.
yeah.
Like, it's that.
My pony, my saddles, waiting.
God. Yeah, it's not like it wasn't like that. So,
Yeah. Um,
but he did say all that corny shit.
I mean, of course, yeah, we know that, but Harry wasn't there to hear all that, right?
Exactly. So it was wrong for Harry to assume,
Mm-hmm.
but it was right for Harry to assume.
He was both wrong and right
Yeah.
for assuming what he thought was happening, which was actually happening.
Yeah.
Um. Anyways, notice that the picture frame of him, Uncle Ben, and Aunt May is beside the bed. This is the same one that he broke in his room, testing out his web power. So yeah, cool that he fixed it and put it there. Harry goes home, distraught of what he just saw, and he reconciles with his father, forming their bond further, and saying that you were right, Dad. Saw him getting daggered by Peter. For his sake. He's like, and then he's like, and then Norman's like, son, bitches ain't shit,
Oh,
but hoes and tricks. That's what I
he
said.
said that. That's right. Willem Dafoe said that.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe. Bitches ain't trick, but hoes and trick. But this builds up for his actions in the third movie. Of course, of being jealous of Peter Parker and stealing his girl and um, his eventual discovery of who killed his father. Spoilers. Um, anyways, back in the hospital, Peter gets some encouraging words from Aunt May. You're not Superman, Peter. It's hilarious because I'm like, what, Superman comic books, DC comics exist in this? Okay, whatever. Um,
Like
they don't
I
really,
thought,
yeah, they don't care about that at all. Um, and she's like, you've been staring at her since you were 6 years old. You've always liked MJ, and I think it's time for you to fucking grow some balls, you pussy. That's what he said,
oh,
right? And he's like, you know what? You're right. I'm gonna go call her. Guess who picks up?
that's crazy.
Who? Yeah, the Goblin, baby. Goblin's like, looking for somebody, Spider Man.
That's
Classic.
crazy. Like, how does this guy have a visual presence with just audio?
Yeah,
I
dude.
can I can see the jaw to jaw like action.
Yep. We know exactly who's talking. Peter's like, who is this? Hello? Oh, he didn't say that.
Unmistakable.
Impressive. Um, and now he's like, I don't even know if he told him where he is. Like, I'm at the bridge. But he just said now he has to go save her for the final fight. Peter has to go and save MJ, who wakes up on top of the bridge. Is Brooklyn Bridge? Queens Bridge? I don't know. But it's a bridge with a goblin fucking flying around and terrorizing her and causing destruction all around, throwing bombs and being a bad guy, pretty much. And there's a cable car that the goblin sliced off, and now he's holding it by one hand and holding MJ on the other hand, and he gives Peter a choice to either save a cable car full of children or the love of his life. And of course,
How fucking strong are these people?
wait, who? Goblin?
Goblin. He's holding,
Well, he has super strength from the fucking gash, right?
but that is very strong.
Yeah,
Just stand like that.
yeah, like without even any inclination that he's struggling to carry it,
Cap struggled to pull a helicopter, you know?
Yeah.
And
Even in this one, when Peter was holding the cable car, like he was struggling to like keep it. He wasn't like, oh, okay, let me just put it over the fucking bridge. Like he was,
exactly. So the goblin is very fucking strong.
yeah. This guy's like level 5 Frank. Like this guy's up there.
Where Peter is like what? I don't know, like Spider Man. Low
Maybe he
tier
just
squad.
hasn't fully unlocked his potential. Um,
Eh,
but we get this cool shot of like the cable car falling and MJ falling on each of like Peter's eyes, like Spider-Man's eyes, which I thought was really cool. But he saves both of them. Like I'm pretty sure everybody kind of knew that was gonna happen. They're not gonna let children die because I sure as hell would have rather saved MJ. It's less work.
for sure. Yeah.
Um.
Yeah. It's just
Anyways,
you, you know. You don't know all these other people.
I don't know you.
Yeah. I'd say
Yeah,
what,
it's
easy.
just yeah. And plus, like they don't know who I am.
Yeah.
I can just walk by like your family members tomorrow and be like, "Don't get mad at me. You don't know I was the guy that saved them."
Yeah.
And plus, it's like if the cable car fell in the water, you can still save MJ and have time to save the cable car out of the water,
Exactly.
right? It's not like they're gonna die right as they hit the water, is it? In fact, I think
Yeah.
that'll save them.
Honestly, everyone could survive if they just fell in the water. No, screaming in the air, but then as soon as she gets to the water, she can swim.
Spider-Man should have just went straight for Goblin. Is that what you're saying? Yeah,
Just
they could
get
have
ripped
saved
off
a
the
lot of
danger.
time. Yeah. Um,
He didn't play the matchup really well.
this guy's a dumb matchup. Yeah, Spider-Man saves both of them. Hangs on, trying to fend off Goblin at the same time, and the citizens help by pretty much polluting the river. They just fucking full out throwing shit at Goblin.
The latest dialogue. You mess with one of us, you mess with all of like, come
Hey,
on.
get out of here, you green freak! This New York you're talking about here. Uh, Yeah, that was definitely generic New York slander and jargon coming out of their mouths and full out throwing crowbars. They threw like three. Who has three crowbars?
Dude, I don't
Actually,
want to say that it was.
it's a rough part of the city, I guess. So I guess
Yeah. And these dudes are walking. They weren't in a car. You know,
they're about to be. They're about to be in the car.
they have three because just in case.
Just in case some fool wants to run up on them.
Yeah.
Um,
Dual wield.
anyways, yeah, full out polluting the river. A goblin could have just honestly full out thrown a grenade into the cable car, to be honest, or into the fucking bridge where all the people are. Like they're all just standing there. You know, he could have just easily did that, but he didn't for narrative purposes, I guess. Um, Spider-Man gets tethered and thrown into an abandoned building to fight the goblin. Gets a fucking grenade thrown into his face. Fucking crazy effects of him like slicing the mask in half, and he's like, "Blah." That was a really cool effect of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Anyways, fucking Spider-Man catches fucking hands and gets beaten down. Almost gets stabbed in the face with a trident, but slowly overpowers it after thinking about MJ because he's Goblin's. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with her, right? And he's like, "No, you won't." Fucking holds a trident, fucking webs his feet like fucking, you know, Tom Holland did to fucking Captain America, and drops a fucking wall on him.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this guy can hold up a cable car full of children. I'm pretty sure a wall's not gonna.
Pretty strong. That's like, you know, knockdown at least. Soft.
Yeah, soft knockdown, not a
Maybe
hard
hard.
knockdown.
Yeah.
Maybe, but he was fooling around because Goblin was still up, you know, and he was fucking whooping his ass. But as he was about to get the final blow, he distracts him with his last weapon by revealing his true identity. You know, takes off his mask. He's like, "It's me, Peter. Thought we're family. What's wrong, baby? I thought we were friends, baby. We was friends, baby." Right?
What happened?
And he's saying all these things like you've always been family to us. It wasn't me, it was the goblin. The fucking gas made me do this. As he's saying this, he has his hand out and he's
Right.
like full out. He's
Like,
not even trying to hide it.
obvious.
And there's a light, right? When he presses it, there's like a bright ass light. And I'm like, dude, you don't even need spider sense to see that. Like,
Man.
anyways, you already know what happens. The glider's behind him. He thinks that he's about to stab Peter in the back, but he does a backflip. Hey, Spider-Man, do a backflip. Does the backflip, and his last words were, "Oh," right? He has a little.
No, to not do that because he dodged his fucking like I mean he saw it coming from the front like
The glider.
no like earlier in the burning building like he dodged all of those matrix balls with the slicey.
Oh yeah, he knows that. Oh well.
He has those reflexes, right?
Yeah, but this is
it's
from the
coming
back.
from the back.
Yeah. This is
Yeah, the
something.
spider sense is ridiculous. He didn't know that it was
Yeah, hidden tech.
but still that's like dropping the meat like oil coming to you, not you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that's like, when you're like carving a carrot, you're like carving towards yourself. You're not supposed to do that,
like
man.
why is the knife like going
Why
you
is the
know?
knife going in? So that's very unsafe. Yeah,
That was not a good move.
Goblin man, you fucked up on that one. That's a rookie level shit right there. You know,
Yeah.
and it's sad because he's like, his final line before collapsing on his glider is, "Don't tell Harry."
Ooh, how could you not though?
Yeah, I mean, and like what's worse is that Spider-Man being the noble man that he is, Brings the body back to the Osborn residence, and Harry walks in on him, returning Norman's body. What did you do? And this right here is where the his hatred starts to brood for revenge against Spider-Man. Because he doesn't know the full story, right? He doesn't even know that his dad at this point right now was the Green Goblin. At this
Yeah.
point, he just thinks Spider-Man just killed his dad for no reason, right?
Yeah. Why the hell would he do that?
Yeah.
Like,
Um,
think Harry.
yeah, yeah. He's getting all his emotions. Like for him, it's just like I'm gonna kill. And he says it in the funeral. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stop Peter until I fucking kill that Spider-Man guy.
Whoa, chill, man. Like, let's talk about.
It's a funeral, bro. Your dad's funeral. It's not swearing. Um, MJ comes through, fucking confesses her love for Peter. Peter's like, sorry, baby girl. No can do.
Yeah,
Friend zoned. I'll,
that's crazy.
I'll be here for you. But MJ gets a little taste of Peter. He's like, oh, I remember this kiss. This kiss, this kiss.
Oh,
Yeah. As he said,
it's the way you love. Oh my God,
the
come on.
way you love me. It's the way. um, MJ
It's
now. MJ has a little hint that it's either Spider Man and Peter have been making out themselves and he got transferred over to Taste, or they're the same guy. Um,
yeah.
Peter walks off, man, looping back to narrating once again in his head, much like the intro of the movie, that, yo, I'm badass. And also has the same end line as Iron Man, because he says, I'm Spider Man, baby. You
Oh, God.
Just like
Perfect.
Iron Man. Yeah.
What a perfect ending, because it's not like he got the girl. He knew that like the spider or the superhero life was like number one.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. And he knew the consequences that would happen by bearing the name of Spider Man. That the bad guys, when they find out your identity, they can hurt the people around you. Look at Aunt May, look at MJ being on top of the bridge. And at the same time, the tragedy of having to kill his best friend's dad. Um, that's a burden that's a secret that he has to carry with him from this point on. And it's like, you can't really blame the guy for doing the decisions that he made in terms of not accepting MJ's love and still not confessing to Harry about what actually happened to his father. This whole Spider-Man thing is kind of new to the guy, and I think it's a solid first movie because it didn't give us everything. It didn't give us MJ and Peter together. You know, um, uh, by the end of this movie is when we get the ideal Spider-Man persona in terms of he knows what he's fighting for, he knows who he's fighting for, and the beliefs that he has are now, I guess, the streamlined beliefs from the comic books, and that there's no more growing in it. He has grown now. And it sets it up for the second one. And I'm pretty sure from, the hype and Sam Raimi's confidence in this movie, he knew that there was going to be a second one. There's going to be a sequel. And it sets it up for that because we didn't get too spoiled too much in this one. We got a villain that was not too flashy. It wasn't like Doc Ock that had these fucking crazy technology or whatever. It's in hindsight, it's literally just super strength, a glider, and some bombs, right? That's what he had to go against.
It's just warfare, kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, instead of like robotic sentient arms on this crazy dude. And who else did he fight in number two? Is that it?
That's
Did
it.
he Sandman? Oh, Sandman was three, right?
Three, yeah. There was a lot of villains in three.
Yeah, Venom, Sandman, and fucking Goblin in that one. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, in two was fucking crazy, of course, but and yeah. So I was hoping to see a lot more of the suit stuff in this one, especially as a kid, because uh, his synthetic webs was definitely something that played an integral part in the way Peter Parker was as a person, right? We talked about like how much of a genius it is, and they kind of failed or struggled to show us that part in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't remember much about the second one in terms of if they actually did show us that side of Peter a lot more or not. I know that he worked with Octavius in that one, but even then, like if you think about it, throughout Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, has he ever had anything other than normal webs? Yeah, no, dude. Tom Holland would absolutely destroy Green Goblin. He'd be like instant kill mode, dead.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, this is like, yeah, I think it tried to stay true to the comic, or sorry, to the cartoon,
Hmm.
except they didn't go through the route where, oh, remember the cartoon where he turned into an actual spider, and you're like, ew,
Oh yeah, when he turned into the man spider. Yeah,
oh, that
yeah,
was gross shit. Like,
yeah. That was through like experimentation and stuff because he wanted to get rid of the power, right? At some point,
yeah,
but it made it worse.
he made him turn into a
To
real
an actual
spider.
spider. Yeah.
So it's like the Iron Spider suit with the, you know,
Hmm.
arms.
Except actual arms.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but it made him like godlike though. You know?
Of course, you get extra limbs, you fucking fuck people up.
Yeah,
Um,
his speed and his like
mhm.
strength. Yeah.
um, yeah. So in this one, as a kid, yeah, man, what do you rate this one?
As a kid, it was like probably 9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. Did
Like,
this age as well as the other movies?
oh yeah, it's. I think this one aged the best
Hmm.
because of how it was filmed.
Yeah. And
Because I'm halfway through the second one, and it's different. You know,
yeah,
it's different.
this one is like close to home as to what you think a translation is from a comic book to a movie. You know,
Yeah.
it had the
Yeah.
cheesy parts, like mad cheesy parts. The lines were all cheesy, but
Yeah.
that's what it is because that's what pops out in the comic books. Like if you read a comic book and there's two thugs, that's what the bubbles would say. Hey, look at that dime piece over there. Let's go check her out. That's what you'd see on the bubbles. Same
Yeah.
thing with Green Goblin and all his knickknacks and sayings as he's fucking flying around. When he goes up to MJ in the balcony, what does he say? Hello, my dear. Like that's a classic bad guy saying. You don't see fucking Thanos saying that. Hello, my dear. Like, you know what I mean?
It was a different time. You know.
Absolutely. And I think Sam Raimi, with his jump scares and his techniques from horror movies, kind of painted a very good picture of a story of Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Um, Alongside with the great casting choices and everything else. Yeah, I would probably give this back then as a kid. Gave this high 9, like close to a 9.
Yeah.
Um, this one I gave it recently. I gave it a 7 out of 10 because as much as I love this movie, the fact that I know Tom Holland exists and the fact that they might do multiverse in the next one, it just trumps over it. Well, like Tom Holland displays the genius part better, displays the like Peter had some smart mouth remarks here as Peter Parker, but not as much as what Tom Holland did in terms of like talking to the bad guys. Like I can only remember some from Toby where he's like he goes up to Bonesaw and he's like, "Wow, who made that? Your husband make that for you or whatever?" Right? And like,
Trash talk was ass. Oh.
yeah, you're like, all right, Toby, we're
Wow.
progressive now. What if he does have a husband? Um,
Yeah. Very few. He can say that in the. And then the Tom Holland's like, "Hey man,
hey man, he's an
buddy,
openly gay wrestler. He does have a husband. Don't try to judge people. Um, but yeah, like guys, let us know what you think about Spider-Man 2002. And for those of you that are mad young, if you have never seen it before, um,
yeah,
I would highly recommend it because it gives you it tells you one of the reasons why they never bothered to make the origin for Tom Holland, because I feel like this one already did a tremendous job at translating it from the comics. And of course they did it again with Andrew Garfield. That one I don't remember as much from those movies, but this one was very iconic in terms of Uncle Ben's, iconic scene and line to um, what's her name, Aunt May, just the classic Spider-Man origin. Like they did a very good job at this. Aside from the 25 plus age actors posing as teenagers.
yep." Oh, that T-shirt looks almost younger than the student.
Yeah, tayo na batchmate sila, man. Uh, but yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know if you hated this movie, and where do you rate this? In top three with Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield. Where does this place? This is like almost tied to Tom Holland for me. Sam Raimi Spider Man. Of course, Tom Holland goes on top, but Andrew Garfield. I mean, I don't know. I might have to rewatch it, get another opinion on it, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyways, let us know what you think. And next week we're going to be diving deep into the sequel, Spider-Man 2, and will Peter finally get the girl?
Let's
We'll see. Till next time, guys. Peace.
bye.